4th of July weekend. And by the way, my boy Big Z looks great. Congratulations to you, Zander, on you getting married. We will talk to him once again at 3:30. And we will have Gary Cobb with us at 4:30. We are officially 21 days out, 3 weeks until the start of training camp. 3 weeks. Like button, please hit it. Super chats go to the top. I do want to open with the United States men's soccer team. Now, dude, you watch what Argentina just did to Egypt, which is incredible. They were down going into the very end, and they end up coming back with Messi, and they're going to win this thing 3-2. That United States men's soccer team was way in over its head. And by the way, for the record, you're hosting the World Cup. It's all the hoopla. You had the easiest group of all the teams for you to beat. Everything was set up for you to advance, and you didn't advance on your home soil. If you can't do it like that, with everything being set up, plus you got President Trump making phone calls. Hey, by the way, I got a message for President Trump. Hey, can you make a call to the college football playoff? I want you to put a good word into those dudes for my Hurricane team. Thank you. Anyway. Not that that mattered. They were completely outplayed, and it didn't matter if they put Pele on that team. They were just completely outmatched. They were in over their head. The moment was way too big. And if you're not going to do it now, you're never going to do it. Soccer will never be a big-time sport in this country because we don't know how to handle that sport. I'll tell you what, we know how to put on a World Cup. We just don't know how to participate in it. Okay? We just don't know how to participate in it. That we just don't know how. Man, did they lay an egg. That was so disappointing. And again, you have to ask yourself, I mean, they looked scared. They looked nervous. They gagged. The whole thing. Unbecoming. And by the way, that kid who they got floating around as supposedly the face of soccer, if that's your dude, you're in trouble. That guy did not show up. The entire team didn't show up when it mattered. Dude, soccer in this country will never be a mainstay. College football, National Football League, all of that. We want to put on a World Cup. That's great. We know how to put on a party. We just don't know how to participate in that thing. This World Cup has been awesome. I've been very entertained. Very entertained. It's been a lot of great storylines, but Team USA, what a gag job. As I said, hit the like button. We appreciate you being here. Hopefully you had a great 4th of July. Is there any better weekend? Oh, and by the way, the thing on Trump. So wait a minute here. You got a leader of your country making a phone call to FIFA to review a shitty call and try to hope that the committee would overturn the thing, and you're jumping his ass for that? Hey, don't hate the player, hate the game. That's on FIFA, dude. That's on FIFA. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Who gives a shit? So Trump makes a call. You guys get on their shit for having something that didn't. What really made it obnoxious was watching people on social media rooting against America. You guys are pathetic. Seriously, utterly pathetic. If you root against this country on a 4th of July weekend, how pathetic are you, man? It's unbecoming, too. I mean, really? Anyway, I'm glad the soccer talk is over. I'll keep watching the World Cup, but now that Team USA is out, hey, man, I don't know. I'll keep watching a little bit to see what Messi does, because what he did today was just lights out, was incredible. They came back and they were getting dominated by Egypt. So, dude, I mean, you root against your country because you hate Trump so much because he made a call? You're pathetic. All right. Hit that like button. We got a ton to go over. Oh, by the way, we got some latest news on the Jalen Carter contract talks, or maybe they're not any contract talks. Also, a big summer for questions going into the camp in 3 weeks. We got a couple questions here we want you to answer. Last week, Big Z was not here. And I got to tell you, man, you should have seen it, Z. These people couldn't even answer questions because they got their panties in a bind. Really? Oh, Zander also missed this. Yeah, we tried to put LJ on the program because he had so much bullshit to talk. Guy, he cowered out. And so he didn't want to come on. And now he's left. And I'm sure he's under an anonymous name again. But, dude, you got the email. Anytime you want to pop in, you pop in, kid. We don't run from anything here. Our callers don't run. How you doing? All right. Also, we're going to talk Barkley. A little bit on Jalen and a bag of money that's going to be thrown at a bunch of Eagle players. All right. So the Jalen Carter deal, how much and how many years do you want to be invested with him? How many years? So I thought it was cool. Hurts taking a bunch of the offensive players to Florida. Kyle, congratulations for not robbing a bank. That's what the premier quarterbacks do. Brady did it for 25 years. Getting Amendola, Edelman together. Stop giving people kudos for doing their gig. Hey, congratulations. You're a starting quarterback and you got a brand new offense and you want to get your guys together to get ahead of camp. I don't know. What an epiphany. Wow, that's great. So you're telling me the quarterback acted like an NFL quarterback. All right. Congratulations for not robbing a bank. I mean, Kyle, I appreciate that. And I do. I really do. I appreciate that. You know I do. But, dude, every great quarterback works out with his key players. So let me get back onto this thing here with Carter. So, dude, he's going to hold out. Or, to use a Drew Rosenhaus line, hold in. By the way, I want to show you something on my X account. And it's not really cool. Warren Sapp commented on Philly. Okay? And I retweeted it. This was after I said something about Drew Rosenhaus, who represented Warren Sapp. And this is what Warren Sapp tweeted. Philly is a bad city. It's the city of hate. And he tweeted this. And this was in response to what I said, that word is that Drew Rosenhaus and the Eagles are miles away from each other in the Jalen Carter contract talks. Sapp followed up, Philly is a bad place. A city of hate. Just telling you. And what I did was I just retweeted it over on my X account at Dan Sileo Show. Just so you know, this is not going well. The conversation between Jalen Carter, Drew Rosenhaus, and Howie Roseman, there's very little conversation going on. And they want a contract extension. And Howie's not in that room right now. And Sapp knows Carter very well. They're friends. I just retweeted it. Just so you know. Okay? Everyone's keeping an eye on this. Okay? And this is not going well. Yeah, hey, Jimbo, I get what you're saying. Warren knows the player, though. And he's close with Rosenhaus. I think he's going to hold out or hold in. Him starting the regular season against the Commanders, I think is 50-50. Okay? And by the way, it's over on my X account. You can see it right now in what he said. And there's a negotiation going on, and some of that conversation has been brought up. Do you enjoy playing in Philly? I can't answer that. I don't know that question or that answer. If he enjoys playing in Philadelphia. I know he was a little bit twisted sideways on how the fans looked at him after that Dak Prescott incident and some of the things that were said about him. And he's a pretty sensitive kid. Team leverage, because the Eagles hold his rights for multiple seasons. They have financial leverage. Could wait to see if Carter solidifies his all-pro potential before committing to $35 million plus annually. Yeah, well, I'll also say this, and I said it the last time we were on last week. You had 2 years remaining on A.J. Brown, and you completely had leverage on A.J. Brown, and you moved him. You had all the leverage. You had 2 years remaining on a contract, plus you had tag years. You had 2 tag years, and you let him go. And he forced his hand. Okay? He missed the first game spitting on Dak 100%. He won't miss the opener. Like I said. Okay, so he won't. You believe that you think Drew Rosenhaus is going to have him play the opener. Okay? We'll find out, RC. AJ requested out. Carter hasn't. Twiz, how long do you think before he does that and Rosenhaus asks for a trade? How long do you think he waits before he asks for a trade? I can't believe Sapp took a shit on Philly today. I was shocked. My one-word answer was, wow. And I couldn't believe it. Like I said, it's over on my X account at Dan Sileo Show. So I'd sign Carter, 0 years, 0 money. I'd rather put it towards Q and Coop and Mauro Jomo and possibly Tariq Woolen if he plays good. Get this. You're under the understanding that Carter likes the Eagles more than his agent. Jalen Carter pays Drew Rosenhaus to make decisions, dude. Do you think Jalen Carter likes the Eagles more than Drew Rosenhaus? Listen to this. Carter's smart enough to understand he didn't have a great year holding in or out. He's not a dumbass. And you're under the impression you think that he's loyal to the Eagles. He's loyal to Drew Rosenhaus. Folks, if that guy signs a $150 million deal, Drew Rosenhaus is going to make in excess of $8 million off this deal. Carter loves the Eagles. He took the chance drafting him. Holy shit. You play in a sandbox with a shovel and pail, don't you, kid? RC3 plays in a sandbox with a shovel and pail. His agent loves green. We ain't talking Kelly. That's correct, Sig. Make Carter earn it. Hey, dude, you guys are missing the point on Drew Rosenhaus. He's not going to make him earn shit. I want my money now. Like it or not, or trade us. You're under the impression that they want to work together. Yes, they want to try to get a deal together. He's not taking less than Jeffrey Simmons. If Carter doesn't get an extension, don't be surprised if he goes to Atlanta or Tampa because of college ball. He's from Apaka. Doesn't shock me. Oh, by the way, hey, Kyle, will you tell people what city Warren Sapp or what high school Warren Sapp went to? Let's take a look at that. What high school did Warren Sapp go to? Warren Sapp go to? Let's see. Oh, my God. He went to Apaka High. Did Jalen Carter go to Apaka High? Let me see. Oh, my God. Jalen Carter went to Apaka High also? You mean both those guys know each other very well? And that's why he said that he hated Philly? Maybe Sapp knows something because they're close. No? Oh, wow. So Warren Sapp knows what's going on with Jalen Carter. Maybe Jalen Carter doesn't like playing in Philly. Why would Sapp on my Twitter page say this about your city? And it's a direct response. Word is here. Here's exactly what I tweeted again. Word is that Drew Rosenhaus and the Eagles are miles away from each other in a Jalen Carter contract talk. Sapp, Philly's a bad place. City of hate. Wow. Whoa. Huh. Fake narrative? Fake narrative. And that's why he's on my timeline, Sapp, saying that. And by the way, yeah, you bet go Eagles. He's looking for money. Loyal to the fucking team. You're so dumb, dude. He's not loyal. So wait a minute. Reyes, ask yourself this, dude. Do you think that Drew Rosenhaus, he's more loyal to Drew Rosenhaus or the Eagles? Let me guess. You think he's more loyal to the Eagles? We'll end that. Carter doesn't have the respect of the league to hold out games. His value will plummet, and Drew will have to come to terms. That's what Drew Rosenhaus does. He settles. Name me a case where he settled with a high-end player. Sills, not sure Carter's loyal to Drew, but their financial interests are definitely aligned. If Carter wins, Drew wins. Unless Drew pushes things too far, Carter has a shelf life. Drew does not. Remember what happened, Bob? Micah Parsons pushed it too far. Jerry got sick of it, and he's now playing in a different zip code. Still got the agent down in Houston, still got what he wanted. Parsons, in the end, didn't get exactly what he wanted. You know what he got? He got a different zip code. He wanted to remain a Dallas Cowboy. Jerry didn't want to play along anymore. The agent won. The player really lost because the player wanted to be a Cowboy. Hey, get this. Look at this right here. There's contract negotiations going on right now. Dude is in Miami praising the Eagles without the media around. But basic folks, bro, what are you talking about? Something you'll never know. What's going on behind those stupid things that you believe every day that come out of Bob Lang's hole? You'll believe anything, Prince. And by the way, of course he's going to talk highly of the Eagles. They're negotiating right now to try to get a new deal before the start of camp. Why wouldn't he? Why would he talk shit? Dude, my God, really? I'm hooking you up here with behind the scenes. Sapp knows what's going on. Am I in Miami? No, Warren Sapp is. And he's actually working out with him. Jalen Carter is working out with Warren Sapp. Yeah. Get this. Of course you would, dude. Of course you would. Get this. Hey, is this misinformation? Warren Sapp is working out with Jalen Carter. Hey, Sapp, I'm going to tweet that out right now. Warren, how's Jalen Carter looking this offseason? I've already texted him. They're working out together. Remember, Sapp was a D-line coach in Colorado. He quit that job. And Carter's hired him to work out with. Didn't know that, did you? No? Oh. See, Drew doesn't give a damn about the doubt. He does not give a shit about a down year. Look at these fake. Look at the people in here pretending to know what they're doing. Why haven't you paid Carter? Not worth 35. He won't make less than Simmons. Get this. You haven't paid Carter. Correct. You let the market get ahead by letting Simmons get signed. I don't think he is. And you're right. I don't think he's worth it. I'm talking to you about what Drew Rosenhaus and the Eagles are doing, dude. Not what I would do. Get it right. Try listening along. See, Twiz is combining what I think and what the Eagles are doing and what Carter's doing with what I would want to do. You're getting your signals crossed, guy. We weren't talking about what I would do. We're talking about what they're doing. What Rosenhaus is doing. Okay, well, I'm going to hook you up. Right now, we are talking about what Drew Rosenhaus is doing and what the Eagles are doing, not what I would want to do. Is that clear? Thank you. Get this. Wait a second. He thinks this is talking out of both sides of your mouth. I'm right now talking about what Drew Rosenhaus is doing, negotiating with the Eagles, and what Carter is doing with Sapp. I in no way did I say what I would do yet. I think that's very clear. That's very clear. Here, let's just tweet at Warren. Warren. Should Carter sign with the Eagles? See what he says. Warren, should Jalen Carter sign with the Eagles or demand a trade? I'll fix that. before camp. Here, Warren, should Jalen Carter sign with the Eagles or demand a trade before camp if they can't get an extension? Go. So just so let's be clear here. What do you guys think Jalen Carter does? You think he sits out? And now you got another disgruntled guy like you did last year with AJ. Sills, that's a good point about zip code change. If Carter isn't a fan of Philly, pushing harder might be their plan. Okay? Let's see here. Let's see. Sills, what you do in this Carter negotiations if you're Howie Roseman? Nothing. Nothing. I sit back, me personally. Now you're asking me. This is, again, something that Twiz won't understand. We talked about with Carter and we talked about what the Eagles are doing. So what I'll do now is I'll tell you what I would do. If I were Howie, I'd sit back and let the bitch roll. I'm not paying him that. And Howie's right. Roseman's right in what he's doing. Okay? I'm not paying him either. And you know how you know this? Howie Roseman never lets somebody beat him by setting the market. There's two players we talked about last week that set the market. Patrick Mahomes and Jeffrey Simmons. Jeffrey Simmons set the market at 35-2. Patrick Mahomes has set the market at quarterbacks at 63-2. Okay? How he gets ahead of that, the last time he got ahead of it, they were able to get ahead of the contract for Hurts. And look at Hurts now. He's the 12th highest paid quarterback in pro football. You got defensive edge rushers right now making more money than Jalen at quarterback. It's an under market value deal. And Howie doesn't traditionally let that go on. Well, guess what? That's exactly what's happened here, is that they've done that now, and they've allowed the market to reset. They've reset the market now. They've totally reset it. So now, if you go back and you give Jalen Hurts a contract, you're not giving Jalen Hurts a contract extension this offseason. Why? Because the market's been set at 63 by Mahomes. And some would go like this. Well, Sills, that's Mahomes. Mahomes was the 14th highest paid player until the Chiefs renegotiated his deal a month ago. He was the 14th highest paid player. He was making $48 million until the Chiefs restructured his contract. Okay? I mean, they let that thing go for 2-3 years. Now, albeit at the end of the day, Mahomes was making more guaranteed money and had a larger contract than anybody in the league at $500 million. But again, it's not about poor baby. What it's about is it's about the next guy. Sue, it's not about Mahomes. It's about the next guy who's going to get that money. It's not about Patrick Mahomes. And again, hopefully Sapp answers that. Let's see here. Eagles should learn the Patriot way and maybe they'll have a dynasty. Phenomenal take. Phenomenal take. They don't sign Jalen Carter. Hey, by the way, Jalen Carter's not a better football player than Richard Seymour. And the Patriots moved him. Okay? I mean, they were totally. Get this. How about this? This is the same dickhead who said I was lying that Tom House was working out with Jalen Hurts 4 years ago in Southern California and said I was bullshitting. Turned out to be true because Timo Solani told me those guys walked into his restaurant and they were working out in Southern California. I got precedent, asshole. You don't. Sills, what's the Eagles' biggest issue right now? And how can we use Carter to fix it? Moving Carter would create a hole, but if he wants out, I didn't say he wanted out. He wants a contract. I didn't say that. Okay? I did not say he wanted out. They want a contract extension. Okay? That's what they want. They want a contract extension. I knew when you picked up the 5th year, this was going to create bullshit this offseason here. Do you really want to go into another year with a player pissed off about something and disgruntled again? Seals, I don't think you can set the market if you aren't sought after. Right now, teams aren't pressing to pay top dollar for Carter. I don't know about that. You've got Drew Rosenhaus as an agent. Okay? Hey, Reyes, I don't give a shit if you believe it's fake news or not. Bro, I really don't care. If you don't believe it, if you do believe it, I don't care. I really don't care. Sills, you're the number one hater. Why? Because I'm bringing up that Carter and Rosenhaus want a contract before the start of training camp? Or he's going to hold in? That's hating? Sills, Carter is George Pickens 2.0. He wants to be paid like an all-pro for consistent play. He wants act like an ass, treat him like it. Sapp can fly a kite too. Pay Jomo and Woolen. Well, we'll see what Woolen does before you start passing money out to him because he's an asshole too. If Howie didn't pay him, who always pays homegrown DTs and immediately knows his health and character, then why would another team be quick too? I think that's a great take, Rasputin. Sills, this is just a few of the names who we let go. Lawyer Malloy, Ty Law, Willie McGinnis, Richard Seymour, Wes Welker, Vince Wilfork. Jalen Carter isn't any of those guys. And those guys all won multiple Super Bowls. That's correct. Who's the last top 10 pick the Eagles have traded besides Wentz? They don't do it. A deal is going to get done, whether it's slight overpay or not. Well, he ain't taking. Hey, listen, that may be true. Rosenhaus is going to win this. He's going to win this. Sills agreed. You didn't say it. Sapp is teasing it, so either Sapp is full of shit or he's not. Which is it? I thought it was just out of nowhere that he would say that. Plus, he took a shit on Philly. Those guys are very close. I know they talk a ton. He loves Carter. So why are people mad? Drew's job is to get Carter the biggest bag than the last guy. It's not that hard to figure out. I know. If you bring that up, Danelle, it's like all of a sudden you're hating. This is how it works, dude. Either way, Rosenhaus wins. Whether his client gets paid by the Eagles or another organization, the question is when and where. And you're hoping it's in Philly. Remember when Fletcher got his first extension? We paid Cox no problem. I'm with Howie on the Carter deal. I'm with you. Jeff? Still think Carter shoulder pass a team's physical? It's a great question. That's a great question. Oh, Sills, I forgot to mention that we let go of Prime Asante Samuel as well. And coincidentally, he became an Eagle. Why? He's already had a small hold-in already. Drew's job, correct, but you don't want to go on this side. You don't want to go on the side of Howie's, on the side to Howie job. Drew's job, correct, but you don't want to go on the side to Howie's job. I think you don't want to get on the bad side of Howie. I'm going to take that twist there with that. Drew Rosenhaus doesn't give a shit about that. Look what he did with Jalen Phillips. He didn't even give the Eagles a chance to respond because he knew Howie wasn't going 4 years and 30. So the Apopka guys are tight, so that would tip the scales in Sapp's favor. The smoke might be telling us there's a fire coming. Like I said, for Warren Sapp to go on my timeline and put that out there like that, I mean, that's not normal Sapp. And this is why I just asked the question on a contract extension. So we'll see. Hey, dude, like I said, there's no way in the world he's taking less money. If the Eagles pay Carter and lose AJ in the same year, does it create a bad image of the organization? Lose Carter? Depending on what you get back. Look at this. Phillips isn't worth anything near that. He just got 30 fucking million over 4 years. He's making more than Carter. And by the way, he's represented by Drew Rosenhaus. Are you not tying this shit in? Jalen Phillips is represented by Drew Rosenhaus, who just got a 4-year, $30 million annual deal with a massive signing bonus. And he's never made a Pro Bowl. But he's going to go to Jalen Carter. Hey, you're the Pro Bowl D tackle. Don't worry about it. We'll get it next year. You think that's how agents talk to their players? You won that. Yeah, you know how you won it? You had to go out and trade a third rounder and give a guy 28 in the end. That's how you won it. You went out and gave a guy the same shit he signed for, 1 year less and $2 million annually less. That's how you won it. Yeah, you won it. Inside of 7 months, you gave up 2 third rounders, and you gave up $28 million, and you won it. Okay. I'm going on vacation now. I can't do this anymore. Have a great one, Prince. I'm so mad at the Eagles, and Drew has to get a new contract, and Jalen trade for last season of suspension. We'll see. Listen, I'm not telling you in any way that this is not going to get done, but this ain't going to be as easy as you think. Okay? I think Sapp wanted you to see that, Sills, because he knew you would cover it. He knows I am covering it. Sapp trying to muddy the waters to get Carter to some other destination, which Bridges hasn't been burned. He's good with Tampa. Dude, Jalen Carter in Tampa, and then moving off of Vita Vea, if I'm going to pay somebody $28 million or around 30-some million dollars, Vita Vea is 32 years old. I'd rather have Jalen Carter. Plus, they got to get off of Kalijah Kancey. Kalijah Kancey's been a bust since he's been in Tampa because he can't stay healthy. If this is Jalen's fifth year, how we should wait and see how Carter produces this year. I agree. That's the only thing with Carter. I'm not going past 35. No ain't, no how. Hi, Sales question. What would be your plan B if the Eagles are unable to get a deal with Carter? Me? I'm tagging the guy. I'll tag his ass. You don't like it? You can't really do anything about it. Why? I don't know why the Eagles didn't play hardball with AJ. Shut up and play. You're making 32. The Eagles are a lesser team without Brown. Why would you do that? Why? Seriously, why would you not do that? You're not a better team. You were not a better offense without A.J. Brown. Why didn't they use their leverage? Because they wanted to get a first rounder in 28? What's the leverage in that? That's why this makes no sense. Okay? Let's see here. Let's see. Chills, I don't think they wanted AJ as bad as you think. No, let me guess this right. Brandon, they wanted Hollywood Brown and Elijah Moore and Dontavian Wixmore. Is that right? And a rookie in Mekhi Lemonmore. Come on, Sills. You saw how A.J. Brown was half-assing the routes and play on the field. I'm glad they got at least a first-rounder. I'm not saying that they didn't get a decent compensation in 2 years. I'm saying, why didn't you play a little bit more of your leverage? And you sent him where he wanted to go. So you sent the player where he wanted to go, and he wanted to get out, and you appeased him, and you're a lesser team. Why? And why wouldn't they do the same thing with Carter? Stills, playing hardball is not what the organization does. It's about their image. They're arrogant, and it costs them. An average player, given his full effort, is better production on the field than a top 5 guy that's jogging out there. So, Archie, you think if you have a practice squad of players, they give you better effort, you're going to win more games than with the starting 22 on your football team. If I put a JV squad together, you think that talent, a lesser talented team, will beat that team in the NFL. I think you can get that at certain spots and at certain times. I don't think you can have a whole collection of players that are just great effort guys and not anybody talented. You're not beating that team with that. AJ lost his love for the game in Philly and had to be traded. The whole league knows AJ won't deal with a quarterback who won't throw over the middle, throw in anticipation, or throw on time. I don't have a problem with that either, that AJ wants to have a decent quarterback that could throw on time, throw across the middle, utilize all his skills. I don't have a problem with that. And by the way, AJ Brown a year ago had the third least drops of any wide receiver in pro football. Devontae Smith was 17th. Stop making that seem like there's this gap that's been closed by Smith when you have this enormous Grand Canyon and talent between the two players. Just because one guy's more polished than the other doesn't make him and his presence. Devontae Smith doesn't have the same presence that A.J. Brown does on the field. Oh, by the way, in 21 days, when camp starts, we're going to find that out. We're going to find that out. We're going to find out if Smith can handle being a 1. I don't have any problems thinking that he'll be a 1. All right. Well, we're going to find that out. Especially when you got on the other side, you got a rookie and a bunch of dudes. Let's see here. Seals, I have a quick question. Would you swap Carter? No. I'm taking Carter. 32 years old. Vita Vea is a machine in run-stopping defense. He is a machine, and there's nobody like him in the league. He is a great – him and Dexter Lawrence are a lot alike. They are immovable objects. They're just – last year, the Buccaneer defense wasn't very good, but you know what it was? It was like 5th or 6th in run defense because of him being in there. He's a force. Carter and Davis were 22nd against the run. Vita Vea by himself in the middle in that 34 front, the Bucs were 6th in run defense. I mean, he's a force. He's a fire hydrant who can move. And he gets pressure. But he's 32, dude. I mean, Carter's young and has, my opinion, has more upside right now. So if Vita Vea was 27, that's a different conversation. I'll take Vita Vea all night. But he's not. Let's see somebody with a decent question here. Okay, you're an absolute moron. If you think the gap between AJ and Smitty's, I do think it's a Grand Canyon. You lost, okay. Well, we're going to, Heisman Trophy doesn't mean, you just lost all your credibility. Heisman Trophy means nothing in the NFL. Nothing. Zero. The Heisman means nothing. My God. The Heisman? Here, I want to show you what this buffoon just said about the Heisman Trophy. Okay? Heisman winners. Heisman Trophy winners. Let's take a look at this fabulous list of Heisman Trophy winners. Okay? Let's take a great look at this unbelievable list of wonderful Heisman Trophy winners. Hold on here. Let me go down here. You'll love this list. Let's see here. Travis Hunter, don't know yet. Jaden Daniels looks pretty good. Caleb, yep. Bryce Young, Devontae, awesome. Joe Burrow, great. Kyler Murray, Baker, okay. Lamar, great. Henry, great. Marcus Mariota, bust. Jameis Winston, bust. Johnny Manziel, bust. Robert Griffin, bust. Cam, great. Mark Ingram, really good player. Sam Bradford, bust. Tebow, bust. Troy Smith, bust. Reggie Bush, okay. Matt Leinart, bust. Jason White, bust. Carson Palmer, okay. Eric Crouch, bust. Chris Winkie, bust. Ron Dane, bust. Ricky Williams, good. Charles Woodson, really a great player. Danny Werfel, bust. Come on, dude. Win the Heisman Trophy. What a moronic statement. The way Brown was dogging it on the field last game of the season, it's a refreshing change, honestly. Okay, we're about to find out. Okay, we're about to find out. All right. So we put some questions together as we get ready 21 days out from the start of training camp. Yes, sir. I like these questions. And so we real quick, before I get to the questions, here's one for you. You think Vic Fangio and his defense gives a bad perception on Quinyon Mitchell? According to National Football League executives, Quinyon Mitchell is the sixth best corner in pro football. NFL scouts, general managers have these guys ranked ahead of him. Is Patrick Surtain better than Mitchell? Yeah. He's a lockdown corner. He plays press. Is Derek Stingley a press corner? Yeah. Christian Gonzalez. I think he's as good as Q. Witherspoon. I think he's a pretty damn good DB. Trent McDuffie. I think that's a coin toss. And then there's Q. How would I rank him? I think it starts and ends with Surtain and Derek Stingley. And then Q's right there with McDuffie. If I were going to rank the top four corners in pro football, by the way, this ain't my list. This is NFL general managers. And this is like NFL GMs. And executives and scouts said this about Quinyon Mitchell. You can say whatever you want. As I said, it's not my list. But this is what they got when it came to the top six corners. Here. 6. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Executives, 2020. This is Jeremy Fowler, too, by the way. Jeremy Fowler, 2026 training camps are on the horizon. With that in mind, ESPN surveyed league executives, coaches, and scouts to help us rank the top 10 players at 11 different positions. This is the 7th edition of these annual rankings. And here's who they have at defensive back. Patrick Surtain, number 1. Patrick Surtain held a convincing grip on this process, eliciting more than 75% of the first place votes from general managers, executives, and coordinators. It's not close, a seasoned NFL coordinator said. A generational player? Watch the AFC Championship game. He was by far the best football player on the field in that football game. Okay? Let's see here. Here's another one, a little comment about Surtain. When Surtain was lined up against Jamar Chase, the NFL's number 1 rated wide receiver in week 4 of last year, he allowed 1 catch for 8 yards, and he allowed the entire game 13 versus Burrow. Surtain is one of 7 cornerbacks to win the NFL Defensive Player of the Year, and 4 are in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. This guy's won the NFL Defensive Player of the Year, and he's one of 4, and all of them are in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Again, this isn't me. Derek Stingley. Stingley received several first-place votes thanks to his elite ball production and instincts. No NFL corner has more interceptions since 23 than Stingley, 14, trailing only Kirby Joseph, 16 overall. He's a consistent disruptor with 46 passes defended in that span, and he's been a consensus All-Pro and All-Pro teams. His own vision is outstanding, a veteran NFL offensive coach said. he can make a play at any point on the field. Stingley held opposing quarterbacks to 46.9 completion rate on 64 targets for a passer. He's elite when it comes to press. Okay? See here. Let's go to the next one. Christian Gonzalez. By the way, he's also in the Jalen Phillips draft. Few cornerbacks look more graceful, stride for stride, with receivers than Gonzalez, who uses his 6'1" frame to his advantage. He shuts everything down. When we played him, one offensive coordinator said, we couldn't squeeze a drop. He is and was the main reason why. Size, football skills, can play press, man, anything. There's nothing he can't do. Gonzalez was especially dominant in the playoffs when he allowed 14 completions on 36 targets for 38.8 completion percentage. Completely elite. His game, his bit fitness at times, an NFL personnel evaluator said, but there's just got tons of traits and what makes him elite. Okay? So this is just me with Quinion playing zone. Could this play a factor in his extension? Yes. He doesn't play press. And that's why these other guys are good. Q might be as good. Remember, Q is excelling in Vic's scheme, which is a testament to him. I'm not talking Vic. I'm talking Quinion. Christian Gonzalez, number 3. Few corners look more. We already did that. Number 4, Devin Witherspoon, Seahawks. Witherspoon is the 4th player in the Seahawks history to be named the Pro Bowl in each of his first 3 seasons. Broke a logjam from spot number 4 to 7 with a series of top 3 votes in this process with executives and scouts and offensive coordinators in the NFL. Outstanding in the slot, can play on the perimeter, violently physical, impacts games, doesn't show up many things that he does on a stat sheet as an NFL offensive coordinator. He's just a superior athlete. Witherspoon's skill set is on full display in the Super Bowl, generating a career-high 4 passes and 4 pressures on 6 pass rushes with 1 sack. Nearly 60% of this regular season coverage snaps came in zone, where he can tackle in space and limited production. Witherspoon lined up as the outside corner 399 times of his 691 regular season reps. He also lined up as a safety 9 times. Wow. Talk about versatility. Trent McDuffie. McDuffie is a top 5 corner for the 2nd consecutive year. Some evaluators still view him as more of a slot corner due to his size at 5'11", but that doesn't tell the whole story. McDuffie was an outside corner for 500 snaps last season. Even so, some evaluators believe he's best inside because of his strength and short area quickness and competitiveness. One of the top cover corners in the league, an NFL scout said. Now, I want to read you what they said about Quinion Mitchell. It's only a matter of time before Mitchell cracks the top 3. In just 2 seasons, Mitchell has worked his way into first-team All-Pro status with 29 deflections. Well-rounded cover guy, very competitive against opposing teams, number 1s. And the AFC executive says turnover production holds him back from a top corner spot because he's in zone. There it is. He's not a big-time turnover guy. And does that mean he's lesser than Stingley or Surtain? No. He's just not as productive. How many interceptions does he have in his career? Let me take a look at that. I don't know. How many interceptions? Let's see. Let me go to Patrick. Let me go to Quinyon Mitchell here. Okay. Let's go to Quinyon Mitchell. How many? Quinyon Mitchell. How many interceptions does he have in his career? Let's see. Does he have any in a regular season? He's played 32 games. He doesn't have any. That's why he's not considered Surtain or Stingley. He's got no in 32 NFL games. He's got no turnovers. Because the zone. It's not him. You think that's a lot of games not to have a pick? If you're a top guy and he has none? Now, again, I'm not blaming him. I'm not blaming him. Okay? I'm not. Here, let's take a look at this one, too. Let's see here. Let's see. Passes defended, 29. Okay? He started 16 games and they've sat him. So he's been eligible pretty much every game. I don't ever remember him not starting unless they sat him because they were resting at the end of the year. In 32 football games in the regular season of the National Football League, he's made no interceptions. Remember, All-Pro, for him to make All-Pro and not have a pick in his career is nuts. It's nuts. Yeah. I remember Sil said a zone corner would never be first team All-Pro. I did. Because he doesn't get any interceptions. And you need interceptions to usually get that job done. Yeah. Remember, All-Pro's not picked after the play. I'm not debating this. So the 5 cornerbacks in front of Q find themselves on the island more than Q does. That's not shade. I agree. It's Vic's system. That's correct, Bob. That's not what you just said right there, Bob, is exactly right. Sills, the 5 cornerbacks in front of Q find themselves they're on an island more than Q does. It's not shade on Q, but Vic doesn't put his cornerbacks out there like that. As the D loses more talent, Q will rise up in that. Yes. That's why I just told you, okay? Hey, Prince, I thought you left, guy. Hey, bro, I didn't put that list together. That's not my list. Here. Mitchell is yet to record his first interception. Regular season, they should have put that. The greats are paid to get the ball. But metrics are undeniable. And I completely agree with this. That's why the question was, does Vic's system hurt him? Hey, let me ask you this, okay? Do you think Saquon Barkley not getting the ball in the red zone and not having 18 or 19 touchdowns hurts or helps how they're going to look at him when they're looking at him for Canton? Of course it's going to hurt him. Of course it is. Okay? I mean, like I said, here's how I would rank them. Surtain, Stingley, and I would put Mitchell third. I wouldn't put him sixth. I would rank my guys, my top corners would be, dude, Surtain's the defensive player of the year on a team that beat you You too, my friend. And thank you. I'd put Surtain. I'd put Stingley. I'd go Q. I'd go McDuffie. I'd go Gonzalez. And I'd go Witherspoon. All fabulous football players, too. All fabulous. Once again, dickhead, you got to take that up with ESPN. I think because he got injured, you know? Okay? Let's see here. Sills, the scheme doesn't hurt him. The kid can't catch per sleigh. Okay. Fair enough. Hey, by the way, Weapon, there's a reason that you're a DB and not a wideout. It's because you don't really have the greatest hands. Or you'd be on the other side of the ball making all that money over there on that side too. It's a made-up list. Yeah, okay. It just so happens those guys are the highest paid corners in football. Let's see if it's a made-up list. And by the way, Christian Gonzalez is negotiating a contract. Highest paid corners in pro football. Highest paid corners. So let's take a look at that and see if it's a made-up list. According to this guy. Let's see here. McDuffie's the highest paid guy. Stingley's making 31. 30. And Surtain's underpaid, actually. He's making 25. He's underpaid. That'll get renegotiated. Actually, it's NFL executives, scouts, not media people that they put that survey to, like the NBA survey. They were talking to NFL executives like Howie, like John Schneider. It's not just some dickhead sitting with a pencil like M. Reyes making a list up. Q will make 37. We're going to talk about that in a little bit here. Okay? Great corners also don't get balls thrown their way. This is silly. The production isn't their argument. Okay. Like I said, you're paid on numbers. You're paid on numbers. Okay? Same executive has us number 2 roster. Okay? Because it's reputation. So you think these guys are reputation. All right. Seals, why did Irvin wear 47 at Miami? O.J. Anderson was a favorite of his growing up when he was at St. Thomas Aquinas. And he wore number 47 because O.J. Anderson was his favorite ball player. And he wanted to think that he was going to be a running back, but he ended up becoming a wideout. And when he got to Miami, Jimmy lied to him and said this: "You remind me of a big 747. He goes, "Really?" And so Jimmy wanted him to wear 47. Years later, Jimmy said, "I can't believe you bought that." Sills. So what's that conversation like between Howie and Rosenhaus? Does Carter even have an argument to be paid like Simmons? Yeah, he's the next guy. If it was cut and dry, he'd be paid by now. Here, Jimbo, here's what, as somebody like Carter who wants to play, Here's what you're doing with your agent. Hey, Drew, honest to God, you're doing this. Hey, Drew, man, I don't really want to piss a ton of people off here. I really like playing in Philly. I mean, I maybe didn't have the best year a year ago. These people really liked me. Trust me. And you got to trust Drew because Drew always gets the number in the end. Trust me. Do you trust me? And Rosenhaus, 9 out of 10 times is going to get that number for the kid. You really got to believe your agent knows what he's doing. And by the way, Drew's not trying to start a fight with Howie, and Howie's not trying to start a fight with him. They've got numerous other deals to do down the line eventually. They're not looking to have some sort of asshole meeting. That's not what Rosenhaus is looking to do. So everything's going to be above board. However, Drew knows the number right now. And this is why no deal's been done. Hey, and by the way, getting a deal done before training camp, you think that's going to move Howie? Why? Because Drew wants it done before camp? There's not going to be some announcement. What's the big difference on July 7th or July 28th that he gets an extension? They just picked. Let me ask you this, guys. Hey, Bob, do you ever remember, and maybe some of you can hit on this, do you ever remember Howie giving a kid and picking a kid's 50-year option up and then turning around 3 months later and giving him an extension? Has he done that? Or has he picked the extension up, part of a new contract extension like he did for Devontae? Yeah, wait a minute. No. They did that at one time. They did that at one time, Bob. They used the 5th year and they gave the extension. Right? So, I mean, right. Seals, can you explain why holding up for an extended period would benefit Carter when it didn't benefit somebody like Bell with the Steelers? In fact, you could argue it ruined Bell's career. I never thought that Le'Veon Bell was the player that Le'Veon Bell thought he was. I thought Le'Veon Bell was a good football player in that system that they had in Pittsburgh. I never thought he was a Derrick Henry. I never thought he was a feature back. I thought he played in that system with Bruce Arians and with Roethlisberger and those guys. Plus, you had Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown was the guy in that offense, not Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell was a good football player. He was. I'm not saying that. Okay, wait. Reyes, I'm not saying he wasn't. I'm not saying he wasn't. Okay? But I never thought he was an elite guy. Like, the three-headed monster in Pittsburgh was Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, and it was Roethlisberger. Yes. And I thought he fit well with that. Caught the ball well, ran the ball, held out. $17 million he threw in a trash can. You might as well have lit that on fire. Then he turns around and he takes a pay cut in New York with the Jets. It just didn't make sense. That was so awfully done. Sills, let's tie this topic to the last topic. This is a real issue for Howie. Do you overpay Jalen Carter if it costs you Q or Coop? Well, no. This is why I'm not a fan of what you guys. I hear Zander and everybody talking about that. We got to sign this guy here. Yeah, I'm a fan of signing rosters, not players. Name me a guy that they signed in New England on defense. 2 contract extensions during the Brady run. Can you? Can you name me that they gave more than one contract extension to or overpaid? They never overpaid. They let stars go to keep the integrity of the roster. You know, the year you won the Super Bowl, you had one All-Pro. That was Zach Bond. I don't like losing 7 players to keep 4 and then fill in the blank after that, especially if you're going, here, think of this for a second. If everything goes down the line on what you guys are saying, you're going to have market-setting players for the first time at Carter, Q, and Cooper. And it's going to cost you 3 others. Did you hear the word defense? Hightower, only guy I can think of that had an extension. Yeah, because he was the QB in the middle, and I think he wore the green dot, if I'm not mistaken. Seals, why did the Eagles post a short of Carter's top 5 plays? Do you think that means extensions coming this season? I think they're trying to make everything seem like it is wonderful. They should. Dude, nobody said that Drew and Howie are not working to get something done. He's not taking less dough, though. Remember something about Teddy Bruschi, too. Teddy Bruschi was a Pete Carroll guy. He wasn't there with Belichick. He was a Pete Carroll dude. Bro, what? When your questions are better, I'll answer them if I so see they need to be. Most of your bullshit stinks. Didn't see any call-outs. How did he tweak your... no, because this guy wants to be seen. He stands on anthills. He's another one of these guys. Quinion had 378 snaps last season and gave up 0 touchdowns. Quinion leads all active cornerbacks with interceptions in the playoffs with 4. That'll help. That'll help. But the reason why the executives in the NFL look at him, not that they look at him poorly. That list is not a shade list. Better sign Jalen Carter. My Cowboys going to put 50 points on the Eagles, people. Yeah, that's what I am, Prince. I get butthole hurt every day thinking about what you said about me. Okay, stand in line, son. Yeah, that's what I get. Man, Drew already has 100 other market-setting contracts. Do us a solid, bro. Let's see here. Actually, Sills Bruschi was there with Parcells as head coach and Belichick as a DB coach, assistant coach on the 96 roster. Actually, Belichick was added to that coaching staff. If you remember right, he was fired by the Browns. Then they brought him in as the assistant head football coach, but he was not the defensive coordinator on that football team the year they went to the Super Bowl with Bledsoe. He was added to the coaching staff. As a matter of fact, Bill Parcells has never won a Super Bowl without Belichick on the coaching staff. That's something that Parcells, I mean, every single game and every single championship that Parcells won, the D coordinator was Bill Belichick. Sills, when does it hurt Dak to not make the playoff with great receivers? It's already hurt him. Let's see. Devin McCourty spent his entire 13-year career in New England. I can't remember who drafted him. I can't remember if he was a Parcells guy or a Carroll guy. I can't remember which one he was. Do you think that Parcells and Belichick regret that? It's like Simon without Garfunkel. I think what happened in the end, when Ray Handley got the New York Giant job, we kind of got a little bit behind some of the scenes there and some of the things that went on. Here's a true story, Kim. The reason also that Belichick has not been brought back in to the Giant organization was this. He had an extramarital affair with the secretary there to the owner. And it was hush-hush. He was giving her presents and shit and all that. And boy, whether or not he had won that Super Bowl, when they beat the Bills, they wanted him gone. And the Mars and the Tishes did not like what was going on. And he got the Cleveland job. He thought he was going to get that job. Parcells was never going to give him the job because of that extramarital affair. And Bill held that against the Giants. And that's why Bill held off on retirement. Belichick took the Browns job. Ray Handley got the job. And Belichick was butthurt over the fact he never got the Giant. He never got the Giants job. It was only like 3 months apart, too. Okay? Be honest, Sills. How is Q supposed to get interceptions when Q sees less than 5? You're missing the point. What the question was. Vic Fangio's defense sometimes doesn't show more of what Q can do because he's in a zone. No shade on Q. You missed the entire question, senor. This is not a comment and commentary on Quinyon Mitchell. It's more of a testament to Q playing in a system that doesn't really show what he can do, and I think he can do more. I think he's a better player than how they use him. I'm not shading him. I'm not shading him. But when you fucking don't have any INTs in the regular season in 32 ball games, you're going to have people from other organizations and the media people go, that guy's not as good as Stingley and Surtain. And you go, well, wait a minute. If I line him up and I look at ability, he matches that. What are they going to go on? They're going to go on numbers because that's how players get paid, which you guys don't seemingly still get. You completely missed the point. Once again, you don't know how NFL guys are looked at in the league. You're looked at production and salary and where you're drafted. Those three things are how you're evaluated by media, executives, and everyone else. Okay? It's not the point. You missed the entire question because you don't understand it. It's all right. The media wanted both ways. They labeled Cowboy playoff contenders, but when the Cowboys missed the playoffs, they say Dak Prescott didn't have a team. Then why the fuck did you label them contenders? I think the Cowboys are contenders to be a playoff team. They got to go out and play. And they got to go out and prove it. Q can't catch people. Q had a lot of opportunities, but can't catch. Watch the fucking game to stop blaming the scheme and target. Okay, you're right. That list by NFL executives and scouts. That wasn't my list, Prince. Missed the point again. You're not very smart today, guy. You fucking missed the entire... I didn't come up with that. I didn't write that shit. I love how people take what they read and then I say it becomes mine. I never said that. Now it's mine. Sills, Vic's defensive scheme to funnel the play inside, which is why he needs great safeties and linebackers, cues and outside corners outside the numbers, so he's few bits at the apple and he gets a few bites of it. Absolutely, dude. Vic Fangio's defense is a herd defense. I got you, Prince. My bad. Apologize. Okay? Apologize. It's a herding. They want to herd everything into the middle. They're not looking to go one-on-one. It's smart. You missed the point, though, guys. I don't think Quinyon Mitchell has hit his ceiling yet. And quite frankly, the scheme he plays in, which results in a great unit. You have coordinators out there that highlight players. Vic's scheme with the right pieces. James Bradbury. Put a guy in there. Adoree Jackson. Adoree Jackson settled down at corner because she started getting pressure. Still's getting hated on for someone else's. I know. I'm like, what are you talking about? And it was just a question like, hey, Vic's scheme doesn't accentuate Quinyon Mitchell's true skill set. What the fuck are you talking about? The guy, 32 games, he doesn't have a regular season pick. Well, Sills, what about the... I know. That wasn't the point. I would love this as a weekly exercise. Jacob's top 10 defenses and top 10 offenses. That would be awesome. Sills, as good as you say the Cowboys offense will be, hold on here. They were last year. Them dropping to 18th ranked offense inside the 20 isn't it an issue for you? Depends on here. Well, it just depends. When you've got the number one offensive football team, that means traditionally you're not in red zone. That means your big play. So I want to know what the opportunities for the Cowboys were. How many plays did they have in the red zone and inside the 20 compared to other teams? Give me that number, Archie. If it's a high number, yeah. Because then you'd have to look at their points per game, and maybe that's why their points per game weren't very high, is because of red zone issues. And that could be also play calling. Let's see here. Why is the Eagles ranking Eagles second offense? And you got us winning 8 games. I do. I think your offense is overrated. I think the names on the back of the jerseys are overrated. Let's see here. Sills, McCarty was drafted by Belichick in 20, and his brother was drafted by the Titans. His brother came to New England. They won a Super Bowl and Super Bowl 53 with us. Yeah, they were good football players, dude. They were, without a doubt, great football players. Belichick was always able to do that. I mean, really bring in great players. And by the way, he never kept big money guys. I want you to put that into context on what you guys are doing. In the salary cap era, Belichick and the Patriots never kept big money guys. Brady wasn't even a big money guy. Highest paid contract in the history of the Patriots was Milton Williams. Okay? I mean, yes, sir. Boy, we haven't had this in a while. By the way, I think the old man was pretty damn good on here last week. Now, before we bring Big Z on here, you think Z's different today than he was 2 weeks ago? Do you think getting married, does it make you any different? 2 weeks ago, he was a different dude. He was Johnny Corvette. He was this guy, he's going around. He's now all of a sudden he's, now he's Mr. Dad. I'm just, how this is going to look here, man. I feel kind of like a little nervous in interviewing the guy because, this is like a whole new dude. Without further ado, and a much congratulations to the guy. I got to tell you, man, I saw some pictures. The dad was showing me pictures of them hanging out. He's wearing a fedora, too, like a true Guinea in Italy, too, and I loved it. Without further ado, let's give a big-time applause here. Congratulations, Big Z, on being married and coming back and getting ready 21 days out from camp. How you doing, Big Z?
What's up, Big Sills? It's good to be back with you, my friend. If you can believe it, I missed your ass when I was in Italy, my friend.
I did. I won't lie. I missed you, dude. I did.
Yeah, it's good to be back. It's good to be back and talking Eagle football. What have I missed, my friend? What have I missed on the National Football Show? Do I need to set you back in?
Here we go. We're coming out swinging. We're coming out swinging already, man. We're coming out swinging. Bills. So let's start it out with Jalen Phillips. I don't know what Sapp was doing on my timeline. I have no idea where he was going down that lane. I brought up the fact that I said that, and I'm going to quote it to you here. And out of nowhere, Warren Sapp, he commented on it here. And I said this, and I posted this over the weekend, Z. I said that the Eagles and Drew Rosenhaus are miles apart when it came to their negotiations. Sapp followed it up and said this. Here's exact quote. Word is that Drew Rosenhaus and the Eagles are miles away from each other in the Jalen Carter contract talks. Philly's a bad place, a city of hate. And I want to put some context here. Both are from Apaka. Both went to Apaka High. He works out with him at times. I know that they've met already for a couple workouts. They were represented both by Drew Rosenhaus, and Warren Sapp gets contacted by a lot of defensive linemen in the NFL to have private workouts with him. It's kind of how he's making some extra money here. How do you think this negotiation is going to go, in your opinion? Do you think there's going to be a hold-in at the beginning of camp, or do you think this thing is going to go normal with Drew Rosenhaus and with Jalen Carter? And are you concerned about it?
Yeah, I haven't read much about it, so I know that obviously it's been something that's lingering, but I feel like if they haven't given the deal now, are they going to give it this summer? I know they've done deals closer to camp for players before, but not deals of this size, dude. I feel like whenever they have a player like this, they get paid at about the time that Jordan Davis got paid. I got to look like when did Jalen Carter get, or Jalen Hurts get his first contract extension? When did A.J. Brown get his second extension and Devontae Smith get his extension? Was it closer to camp?
No, I thought it was prior to the draft.
Devontae Smith contract extension. Let me see when that was.
Sapp has left the Deion Sanders Buffalo program. He doesn't work there any longer.
April is when they extended Devontae Smith, and A.J. Brown, I believe, came right before that, if I'm not mistaken, or right after that, right? Jalen Hurts contract extension. His came in April as well. Jordan Davis's contract
prior to the draft.
I believe that was in April as well.
Yeah, prior to the draft.
That was in March.
You know why he did it? You know why they did that? You know why they did that prior to the draft? They got to allocate draft money after that so that they can have that $18 to $20 million that they got to sign their people with. That's why they do all those extensions. I think Cam Jurgens got that contract extension prior to April too.
Yeah.
or to the draft.
So I mean, it just feels like, look, he's a big player. So I think at this point it's been pushed to later, which means, could there be a hold in? I guess whenever you have an agent like Drew Rosenhaus, I think it could happen. But look, I like Jalen Carter, and I'd love him to be a part of the Philadelphia Eagles. But for the demands that are seemingly coming out of that camp, I need to see a little bit more, and I got no problem with the Eagles needing to see it too.
I agree. I believe it or not, I'm on Howie's side with this. Okay.
Yeah, I'd wait.
Okay, but they don't want to wait. Okay.
Well, I mean, so let me ask you a question. Because when he was drafted to,
ninth.
And I think quickly became almost certainly after the Super Bowl year of perceived as an irreplaceable player. There are very few of those players in football, but I think Jalen Carter was perceived to be, that's going to be a guy that's very hard to replace. Do you still have that feeling about him?
No,
because I don't. And I'm not trying to say he's not a good football player. He's an unbelievable football player, but like irreplaceable.
No,
I don't see that.
No.
In fact, I think Fletcher Cox is more irreplaceable in his
that.
heyday than Carter is.
Yeah, but I think he can play himself back into that.
Definitely. But that's kind of where the Eagles are. Go and prove it again this year. Get back to that level. And then a $36 million deal will be waiting for you. Wait, didn't somebody get a massive deal at the D tackle
Jeffrey
position?
Simmons just reset the market. That's why, and here where I'm going. Howie doesn't let a player get ahead of him like Jeffrey Simmons to reset a market and then turn around and go, oh, by the way, now we're going to give him 35 or 37 or closer to 40 now. That's why Hurts' contract is not coming this offseason. No. Because guess who else? Guess who else got a contract that set the market? Patrick Mahomes set it at 63 now.
65, right?
I thought it was 63, but if it's 65, okay. Well, Howie's not going to. Howie doesn't let it go like this. Let Mahomes go at 65 and 35 for Simmons. Then I'm going to go with contract. No way. These contracts are not coming. I wonder how Jalen Carter is going to behave this year. Is going to be my concern this year. I mean, I want to know.
I think a bigger concern is how he behaves after.
With the money?
I mean, if he be, it's easy to behave better when you got a boatload of money waiting for you at the end of the line. Okay, just get in line and you're going to get $40 million. All right, I could do that for a year. Last time Jalen had a big year, Jalen Carter, that is, and, maybe felt like, everything was happening for him. That's when he started the season spitting on Dak Prescott. I'm just saying, after he gets the deal, I don't think that worry goes away, Sills,
No, I don't either. So I thought this is,
and Prince says I'm bugging. Look, I think Jalen Carter is still a great player, but yeah, Prince, we're talking about big deal here, dude. I think it's fair for him to have to earn that a little bit more.
Well, I don't. Once again, takes are like in quicksand. I think Jalen Hurts since 2022 hasn't been the same quarterback if he's going to be a less of a runner. I mean, how he plays the game, he's a lesser player. If that guy doesn't run the football and he doesn't give you, like you guys were talking today, the superpowers that he has, and he wants to think that he can't fly. I mean, like John said, Superman without flying. I mean, it's not Superman. If Hurts doesn't run,
yeah,
dude.
Right.
Hey,
Steph Curry without the three.
Right. I mean, dude, he's not.
Speaking of basketball, I did like that Sixer trade.
Oh, dude. If the road cone can play north of 40 ball games, the Sixers are going to be right there in the Eastern Conference. All depends. I tell you what, if LeBron goes to Miami and plays with Bam or Giannis, man, or he goes to Cleveland, to me, him going with Spoelstra and Riley down in Miami and playing with Bam, that makes more sense to me. Him going back there. All right, I want to. Let's see, Big Z, if you follow along with this, because some of the people in here can't follow along with this. Do you think Vic Fangio and his scheme on defense accentuates the great skill and the entire package and skill package of Quinyon Mitchell?
Oh, it's a good question. I mean, I assume you're talking about putting him in a zone system as opposed to
Well,
being a
he's got
man
no
corner.
picks in 32 NFL games.
Yeah, but I can
Wait,
live with
no,
that. I
I
mean,
got it. I got it. Okay, I
I
understand.
mean,
By the way,
picks are not a perfect representation of how good a
I'm not
player is at
shading
that
on the kid
position.
either here. But you're paid on numbers.
Not at that position. You're not.
Oh, really? Okay, well, here. The executives who came out, Jeremy Fowler came out with that list, and they got Surtain and they got Stingley, who I think are the only two better corners than him right now. I think the
Yeah, I
other
would.
guy,
I would agree with that. I don't think.
see, they got him sixth. I got him third.
Who do
I
they
don't
have?
think
Who do they? Who are the top five they have there?
they had Surtain, Derek Stingley, Christian Gonzalez, Devin Witherspoon, Trent McDuffie. Then they got Q.
Yeah, I mean, I'd take Q over some of them, but isn't it kind of a pick your flavor type of thing there with those players? I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you Christian Gonzalez is not a great football player and Trent McDuffie, so I think it's kind of a pick your flavor, but I'd have Q probably 3 or 4, I think there. I'm not worried about the picks.
No. Here, what my point is.
Okay, you're
is
trying to
that,
get me to worry about one of our best players on defense.
No. I'm talking about I'm talking about perception on how executives around the NFL. By the way, that is not a list of dickheads like me that are just sitting around going, "Hey, let me get this guy, let me put him here and put a list." These are NFL executives that Jeremy Fowler got and talked to DCs, offensive coordinators, talent evaluators, and here's the one thing they said about Q. Right here. Mitchell has yet to record his first NFL reception. The greats are paid to get the ball.
Well, remember, he did have
But
2 picks in the playoffs.
Mitchell's metrics are undeniable.
He had 2 picks in the playoffs, didn't he?
I got it. Yep. I think he's got 4 total.
Yeah, all in the playoffs. This guy's like shows up in the big moments. I like that, but yeah, I'm not that worried about the intercept. I'd rather him lock him down than be, who's the cornerback in Dallas who gets all the interceptions, but the dude's burnt toast every other play. I'll take Quinyon Mitchell over Deron Bland. Would you?
Oh, absolutely. Not even remotely.
So, I won't harp on Quinyon. But Quinyon does struggle with hands. He struggles with catching the football.
Man, he is hands of stone.
That's why he's a cornerback.
That's right. That's why he's a corner here.
He went out to Pee Wees and he couldn't catch the ball, and the coaches dropped him over on the other side.
Okay, so I heard you say something today, Z. You and Johnny Mac.
Uh-oh.
Here we go. We all starting up here. Let me bring old Saquon.
Oh, come on, I'm shaking the rust off here, dude. You're already using what I'm saying against me. I'm shaking the rust off after 2 weeks in the freaking coast of Italy.
Hold on here. I got to add something here. So bear with me here, my friend. Here, just bear with me here. So let me see something here. He averages 1.340. Let's go here, Big Z. And then I'm going to get you your thoughts here on this. 1.313. Let's see here. Let's go here. Hold on here, Z. Big Sills, technology is not very good.
Yeah.
All right.
That hasn't changed.
1.340. No, minus 11.40. Okay. So last year, Quinyon Mitchell ran for 1,100 yards. 1,140 he ran for. And people said he had a down year. Really? That looks to me like a normal Saquon Barkley deal. I mean, he averages 1,200 yards, 1,240 over 17 games anyway. That's 100 yards off his number. Maybe what's happened is that 2024 season has clouded people's judgment on who he really is. I mean, he averages only about 1,200 yards in his career.
Yeah, I think to many ways though, running back is, they are. I'm of the belief, and I've had this belief all summer, and a lot of people don't like the belief that I have, but I'm of the belief that the passing game negatively impacted Saquon Barkley a lot last year. And when you can't pass the football effectively, it gets increasingly hard to run the football, at a high level consistently throughout the course of a year when there's no other threat to a defense. So Do I think Saquon had a down year? Well, obviously, people are saying that in Philly Seals because his first year in Philly, he delivered a historic performance. So, but I think you're right. I mean, in the full picture of his career, that's been pretty good. I mean, he also had, 260 in the air, I think. So, I mean, he did have almost 1,500 yards. I mean, if that's a down year or a regular year, that's still a pretty good output for a player.
It's a Saquon Barkley's. Bro, you're right. He averages 1,400 yards from scrimmage.
No. Mello says Mello, then explain 2024 with one of the worst passing games in football with the best running game.
And
that's not true, Mello.
In 6 years in New York, he averaged around 1,500 yards total. I mean, I think people are looking at that 24 season and going, he's that's not him. I think a player is your best year and your worst year, and he's somewhere in the middle. That's who the guy is.
Well, I agree with that. I mean, but I think that's a good year. I don't think that's a bad year. Yeah,
I know.
I don't think that's a bad.
I think the yards per carry weren't hot. I think he was.
Yeah, the yards per carry was a struggle last year. Yeah. Again, when you can't.
And that's
throw
probably
the ball,
where the O-line comes in with the yards per carry. But when you're talking 1,600 yards from line of scrimmage, that's Saquon Barkley, dude, for his 8 years. He's done that. I do think the 4.3, though, I do think there's something to that. Okay, I got some questions here I'm going to ask you here, but I want to ask one last one here with Hurts on top of that. With Sean Mannion. So in 6 years that Jalen Hurts has been the starting quarterback, he's averaged 32.70, 20 touchdowns, and 8 picks. As a starting quarterback on a team over the last 4 years, it's 50-18. You think those numbers are going to change?
Not by much. No, I think he's going to have to pass for a little bit more this year. I think maybe 3,700, probably somewhere in that range. No, I don't think. I mean, look, it's been 6 years starting, 7 years starting, 6 years.
I believe going into year 6. Let's see here. Let me see.
Is that right? This is his 7th year in the league and 6 years starting?
Yeah, this will be his 6th year starting, 7th year in the league.
Yeah, I don't think it changes much. I mean, it's going to be a different offense, so maybe it will lend to a little bit more, but I don't think overwhelmingly. I don't think he ends up with 4,400 yards and 600 attempts. I certainly don't think that, but I think pretty similar still, Sills. I think you got to – the whole team has to be a little bit more effective. I mean, remember, they did win 11 games last year because in many ways because their defense was good. But if they can maintain that defense, which I think they will, and then you can be a little bit more effective in between in the offense, is that good enough for you to get to 12, 13 wins? I mean, it might be, and I think that's where you want to be. I don't think we need to overreact and say we need to be the best offense in the league for this team to be good. I don't think that's true. I think they have to be competent. I think they can't lead the league in 3 and outs. I mean, that part is just going to kill your defense. And if they can do some of that better, then I think the team is still in a good position. I mean, I feel as though the defense has a chance to be even better than they were last year. So that to me gives them a good shot. I was thinking about the division, and I'm like, I mean, I think Dallas is going to be better this year. I think they're a double-digit win team. The Giants and the Commanders, though.
Yeah, but I don't see any defenses in that division.
I mean, what my point in saying that is that I think the Eagles are still well positioned to win the division, and handle their business and go about it that way. So, where I think Jalen needs to be this year is after 24, it felt like, and he was right for this, and I think you even gave him credit for this. It's not easy to sometimes take a back seat. And in 24, after the bye week, Jalen took a back seat. Saquon was so good. He stepped kind of out of the limelight and let the playmakers make the plays. He tried to do that again last year, and it just didn't work. And I think Jalen has to get back to, if he can here, to be an elite quarterback, Sills. I said it this morning. You got to give your team almost an unfair advantage. That, to me, is the definition of being an elite quarterback. An advantage that only you get when you have an elite player specifically at that position. And I don't think he's provided that to the team the last 2 years. I think he really did in 22 and in some ways in 23, less the turnovers. But I don't think he's done that. And I think he's got to get back to that. Everybody's like, what's Mekhi Lemon going to be? Well, how's Jalen going to elevate him? What's Dallas Goedert going to be? How's Jalen going to elevate him? I mean, we talk about the third tight end in LA like he's a good player. And hey, maybe he is a decent player, but how much did Matthew Stafford elevate him? How much did Drake May elevate Kayshon Boutte or whatever the guy's name is? How much does Josh Allen elevate those guys? Jalen has to be the guy that lifts the tide on the team this year, because I don't think you can just simply out-talent teams anymore, especially on offense. So that's kind of what I'm thinking on Jalen. I don't know what that means statistically for him, but he's got to go back to providing that, man. Or else you're going to have a tough conversation after the year, because when you're talking about $65 million as the new number, I mean, if you don't have, not forget me and forget everybody listening, if this organization doesn't have an unwavering belief in his ability to do that, they're going to have a hard time shelling out that money.
I'm not shelling $65 million out for a 3,200-yard passer and a 20 touchdown and 8 pick guy. Because if winning mattered, you wouldn't change anything. You would continue to run that horse. For some reason, they came up with this notion this offseason. We can't win like this anymore.
Right.
It's become way too predictable. And I've never heard a quarterback being asked to change. Hey, I want you to throw the ball like Stafford. Hey, I want you to throw the ball like Purdy. Hey, I want you to throw the ball more like this guy. I want you to throw the ball more like Dak. Well, wait a minute. Those guys don't win like me. I mean, what a contradicting comment to make to a quarterback, that you're going to change a lot of things up and get this.
It is, but dude,
what I don't like what I'm seeing is that everyone denies it, and yet your personnel and coaching hires all are saying to this.
Yeah, but Sills, how many times at Miami did you win a football game and you walk back in the locker room and Jimmy Johnson's got a whole bunch of shit to bitch about?
Oh, thousands of times.
So it's like, just because you won 11 games, you can acknowledge that that's good, but I think it's fair to also acknowledge this offense has to be better. Jalen Hurts has to be better. The offensive play calling has to be better. A.J. Brown should have been better. I think it's fair to even acknowledge, all right, we were a winning, successful team, and we've been a winning, successful team, but that doesn't mean we're without our problems. John used to say that all the time, the 24 season, how different the conversation would have been in the offseason does Jalen Carter not make that big sack? Just because you win it all and sometimes doesn't mean you're not without your problems. So I don't have a problem to sit here and say, hey, you can win a lot of games, but there's areas to fix. There's areas to improve. I think that's true of any successful entity or organization or team or whatever the case may be. And I think right now what's clear on this team is the offense is the thing that needs to improve the most, even with all the winning, Sills. I think that's fair to say, even for the most loyal and staunch supporters of the Philadelphia Eagles and the most maybe optimistic supporters of the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't want to turn on the screen and watch my team lead the league in 3 and outs.
No.
I don't care if we win 14 games. I don't want to watch that. I will always have the desire for them to be better than that, irregardless of the outcome, So I think that's where people are with it. And it's sometimes tough to gauge because people do want to win, and I want to win, and that should be the most important thing. But, just because you win doesn't mean it's all peaches and cream. And that, to me, is the area where this team has to improve and be better.
Something that caught my eye over the weekend, and I want your opinion on it.
Okay.
And I got to tell you, a lot of people in Philadelphia didn't see this. So I'm going to read, and I'm just taking an excerpt from Inside the Eagles here. And it's commenting on your new offensive line coach. At any job, bosses and their employees may not always get along with each other. Philadelphia Eagle offensive line coach Chris Cooper is learning this lesson the hard way. Before filling his massive shoes of Jeff Stoutland, Cooper spent 4 seasons as the O-line coach for the Minnesota Vikings, with one of the players he coached being a former second-round pick in Ed Ingram. While being interviewed by a local television station in Houston, the now Texans offensive line talked about his excitement for joining the team and seemed to take a shot at Cooper while talking about his new O-line coach. What better place, this is him talking now, Ed Ingram. What better place for them to be in than Houston, Ingram said. I came here, I excelled. Shout out to Cole Popovich. He never let me get complacent. He always challenged me. Personally, I've always thought I'm a great player. All I need is the right person to help me. Coming here was probably the best thing to ever happen to me in my career. Coming here and having a true coach. Coming here and probably the best thing to ever happen to me in my career. Coming here and having this coach, pretty much it takes me under his wing and kind of honed my skills because the skills were there. It just needed to be honed by the right man. And I finally have that man here in Houston. And I didn't have it in Minnesota. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of a veiled criticism. I'm reading the article now. I see what you're talking about here. I'm not a big fan of veiled criticism. I'm not a big fan of passive-aggressive comments. Is there any accountability for the player, that's taught, you know what I mean? So I don't know what to make of it. Maybe it's something
blue too. Let's not forget JJ.
Right. And it's something, I think it's something to keep an eye on, but I'm not going to use it to judge Chris Cooper. I'll allow Chris Cooper's work here in Philadelphia to speak for itself. And it's something to keep an eye on. I think if you see some players not playing up to the level that you think they should be playing up to, then all of that will kind of start to tie in together and you'll notice a trend. But right now it's a one-off. And,
Well, why was he let go?
Whenever you see like a veiled shot like that,
yeah,
it's like,
why was he let go if he's so good? And why did Minnesota not redo his deal?
Yeah, I think that's fair too. I mean, I don't think Minnesota's, the arbiter of great decision making. He made a lot of
GM was awful.
Yeah, he was. And I think their coach is largely overrated as well, by the way. So I'm gonna wait and see on Chris Cooper. I will say this. He's got a tough position.
I like that coach. I think that coach has won a lot of football games since he's been there.
Who?
What's his name?
O'Connell.
McConnell. Yeah.
Kevin O'Connell.
Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah, I don't mind him. I just feel as though he's a little overrated.
23 games in 2 years, not awful. I mean, I don't know.
He won what? 14 with Sam, right?
Yeah, 14-3. And then last year they went 9-8 with all them
right,
quarterback changes there. Yeah. But you're right. So you think it's just something to keep an eye on?
I do. I mean, I'm not going to say it doesn't matter at all. I think it's definitely something to consider. But I'm just not a fan of. I'm not a fan of that approach to take.
Hey, dude, change the scenery. That matters absolutely, Riz. That totally matters, man. It does.
We'll see. Right. I mean, I think Chris Cooper has a tough spot, Sills, to be frank. I mean, replacing Jeff Stoutland, I do think it's a tough spot.
How much do you think the Eagles are going to miss Nakobe Dean?
I think they'll be all right. I do. I mean, he was a great off-ball, great Mike linebacker, but I think they have the players. And I think it sounds like I heard I was away when Vic did the interview, I guess, with Coop and Reed on their podcast. It sounds like he wants to get, from what I heard, I didn't hear the whole thing to be honest, but it sounds like he wants to move him to safety. So, I mean, he said, I don't want him at corner anymore. Now, maybe slot is different to Vic. Nickel is different to Vic and corner.
It's more of a safety.
More of the interior player as his career progresses.
He wants him in the middle of the field.
Wants him in the middle of the field, as you've been saying.
Yep.
You have Jahad Campbell, who is an athletic freak type of guy. You still have Zach Vaughn, who I believe is, a great linebacker. I think they'll be all right without Nakobe Dean. I think the one area of concern to watch there would be the run defense. If you remember last year in Jahad Campbell's start, it wasn't the coverage that was a problem at all. It was the run defense. So I think keeping an eye on that will be important. But I think they'll be all right without Nakobe Dean. As much as it pains me to say that, because I am a big Nakobe Dean fan.
And they did finish 22nd in run defense last year, so we'll see
Yeah.
how that plays out.
Yeah, they struggled.
Well, Jake Elliott beat a kicker in the opener.
Yeah, sadly. Wouldn't be if I was the GM, but he is.
With an offense that you're making all these changes and your margin of error might be even smaller than a year ago, you're going to take a – do you know that the NFC East this year could come down to one player? It could come down to Aubrey and Dallas. Because that guy, bro, all you have to do is get to the 40. He's in field goal range. Your own 40. That's 5 yards when you get the ball on kickoffs.
I know. That's crazy. It's a good point, but
that's a weapon, man.
I mean,
and get this: the margin of scoring difference in the NFL is 3 points. So put that in context there. Especially, you know what? I heard you guys talking about something. I agree with John McMullen 1,000% on this. I think that offense is more about the names on the back of the jerseys instead of the production. And I think that's what they're getting a lot of credit for. Whereas it's funny, I think the guys on the other side of the ball don't get the credit for the guys that have the names on the back of the jerseys.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? I think.
Yeah, you know what else is interesting too is in the playoff game last year versus San Francisco, I believe the Philadelphia Eagles, when they were driving at the end of the game down 4, remember, had Jake Elliott hit that point after earlier in the game, in the first quarter, he missed the PAT on the Goddard touchdown. You have a 3-point game there. Maybe we're not talking about 4 verts Hurts, and maybe we're talking about a kick
divisional game
to tie the game, and then maybe you win in overtime. Or I can't rewrite the history, but they had to go for the touchdown there because they were down by 4. Maybe that extra point makes a difference in that ball game when scoring was at a premium. I think Jake Elliott is a big problem, and I've been saying that, but he's going to be out there, man. He's going to be out there.
Do the Eagles have enough at safety?
I think they'll have enough at safety, not because it's enough at safety, but because it's enough around them. I don't think you're going to have – you can't plan to have great players at every position, but you do want to have competent players at every position. I feel as though you have that in Marcus Epps to some extent. And Makuba, while he had his moments last year, he was significantly better in the second 6 games he played than the first 6 games. I think he played in 12 games last year. After week 6, he did get better. So I think Makuba is still obviously, an unknown, but I feel good enough about him. If somebody goes down, I think they're fucked. But we'll see. We'll see.
Do you think you're as strong as you were in the Super Bowl year in the middle of your defense? You have Carter and Davis. That year you had Bond and Kobe, and you had Gardner Johnson and Reed Blankenship. This year, you're going to have Carter and Davis, Campbell, Bond, Makuba, and Epps. Aren't you a lesser up the middle team than you were 2 years ago?
Yeah, I would say. I would say so.
And so, do you think Howie maybe would like to make another move to try to bring some depth in maybe in there at that safety position? I could see him making a B move at that safety spot. I
think B is a little rich, dude.
Really? Okay.
This team's been stingier than normal the last 2 off seasons. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Right?
They've been more proactive in season than they
Grenard was a B plus, a big move. But B feels rich to me for depth at safety. I think you could have maybe you add a veteran player that maybe gets released at June 1, or not June 1, obviously June 1's passed, but maybe a release at roster cut downs, something like that, right? A camp body or something like that. But I don't know that they make a move for a player that's going to go out there and start at safety. I don't know. I would like it if they did, but would you rather them go get I don't know where
I'd rather put Cooper at the safety spot and put a lesser dude in that slot. There's a reason the slot doesn't make a shot.
I don't know. Is there a reason Vic wants that though?
Yeah, well, obviously he wants to play him in the base, and he wants him on the field, dude. I'd rather have a lesser guy in that slot and Coop at safety and constantly on the field all the time in base, and then move him over and slot and nickel. I just want him in the middle of the field because I think he's your second best open field tackler next to Zach Bond. I think Zach Bond is your best open field tackler on your football.
Yeah, I think so for sure. Yeah. Cooper too. Cooper's really good too.
He is. All right.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't think you're wrong at that spot, but we'll see. I mean, Howie never stopped shaking and baking, and if the right offer is there, I think he'll make it, or the right move to be made is there, I think he'll make it. It's one thing I think we should all appreciate about Howie is he really doesn't sit on his hands. Even if he doesn't make all the right decisions, he doesn't sit on his hands, and I can appreciate that.
Okay. How long let's just hypothetically say that you are indeed in line, Zander, to give Carter his contract extension. How many years do you want to get tied up with this guy? 3 or 4? Do you want a real long deal? Or do you want to have...
I think 3, but he's going to want 4, obviously.
Yeah, Jalen Phillips just got 4 years at 30. He makes more than him.
Well, and Jordan got 3 years.
I mean...
What did Simmons just get?
35 too. 4.
4 years?
I think so. No, it's 3. If I remember, 3. It's 3. He got 3. I think he's a little older. I think
3-year, 105.
Yep. 35-2 or something like that.
He is a little older though. That's right. He's
older. How long do you want to get in bed with this guy? 3 years, 4 years?
For the Eagles, I think it's a 3. I think 3 years is ideal. But look, you're probably highlighting.
This is one of the holdups.
That's what I mean. You're probably highlighting where the problems are when it comes to this contract.
That's right.
And the other thing is, if you get
smart.
the next year, are you more comfortable at 4 years, or are you less comfortable at 4 years for the Eagles?
Less.
Right. So, if you do the deal this year or this summer, it almost feels like maybe 4 years is easier to stomach, but it's still adding on to that after the end. So, how old's Carter? He's 25.
25. Okay.
Yeah, I think I feel all right about 4 years.
Okay. If he performs to it. So here's one last one here for you. And then I got a couple more here on money, and we're done here. How about this one here? So, did you think that Kellen Moore was a good coordinator in Philly?
Yeah.
Thought he was good, right?
Yeah, I thought he had a good feel for the game, for sure.
Okay. What makes you think Sean Mannion is going to be able to do what Kellen Moore couldn't do 2 years ago?
In terms of implementing an offense that Jalen hasn't ran in his past?
Yeah.
Nothing. Hope. Hope is not a strategy, but hope is the strategy.
Now you sound like the U.S. men's soccer team. Hope.
Jalenites everywhere are singing the tune of hope. I think that's no. I mean, look, I think it comes down to everybody has a belief that the players are if taught correctly, are able to do it, and that doesn't mean they're going to be right. But I think if you're going to have the belief, it should be anchored to that as opposed to anchored in, some sort of pie in the sky thinking. If you're a Jalenite, you believe that Jalen can play any style of football. So I think that's a more sound thought process than hopium, like Jimbo says in the chat. But, maybe
I like that. Hopium?
Maybe that's far-fetched. So we'll see. I don't know. I think somebody's launching off fireworks. You hear him?
You seem like a different guy now, even in your
dude, I'm the same guy.
Huh?
I'm the same guy. In fact, I heard you. What'd you call me? What'd you call me earlier? Johnny Corvette. My Corvette got smashed 2 days before my wedding.
I didn't say anything to anybody, but dude, I was so concerned. Bro.
That sucker got smashed, Sileo.
Hey, posting pictures, man, before, then your old man called me and I was like this. Well, is the kid fucking all right?
Yeah, no, I was all right. But still, it sucked.
Were you sore?
Yeah, I mean,
were you sore in the airplane after that? By the way,
bit,
folks,
but
this
nothing
guy slammed.
crazy.
He got slammed in the behind by like guy was doing 50 with no skid marks. The old man went back and looked. The guy didn't even fucking put the brakes on.
I got the call from the insurance where his insurance company has already accepted full fault and everything. Like it wasn't on me. But you always want to know that just because insurance companies will fight all the time. But so I know it's not my fault or anything like that. It's just like you got to deal with it. You know, I hope I don't know. They had to transfer the car sales from a body shop here to like some sort of more high-end body shop who could diagnose the level of damage to that car because the insurance. I hope it's totaled. If it's totaled, that's best case scenario.
No shit. I don't want that thing back. You need to get.
No.
I want a new bitch. Right.
That's right. But no, it's good. Thankful to Jacob, actually, we have great clients who are loyal to us, who are helping me through the process with some of that stuff. And we'll see how it all shakes out. But
start a new fucking channel. You got it. Here.
Bob says I'm getting a minivan.
Hey, pretty soon, dude. With a kid chair in it. Hey, get that. Oh, by the way, yeah, you should call my boy Morgan and Morgan and probably get you they'll probably get you a Bentley. So my question would be this here, bro. Okay, so you think Hurts and Mannion are going to get this thing and they're going to be on the same page and everything's going to be hunky-dory after? Because you said something interesting that I thought today. How long before all of a sudden you start getting them shaky hands like an alcoholic where you go, I got to get back to doing what I did before to go 50 and 18. You know, you start shaking like you're,
well, hey, maybe that comes quick, Sills. I mean, maybe that comes quick, but it feels as though they've invested more in this switch than in the past.
Oh, yes.
You know,
actually, it's a great point by you that they've invested more than they even did for Kellen Moore.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
So we'll see, but I don't know how quick they go back though, dude. It just doesn't feel to me like the right move for this quarterback. But at the same time, you know what I said this morning? I don't know if you caught it, but I said this morning, I'm like, I wonder if the Eagles feel as though Jalen Hurts' top skill set lowered down the totem pole for reasons that they were successful. And what I mean by that is 24 came along and Saquon was the top. You know what I mean? And that slowly started to become less important to the point where they were okay discarding it or not emphasizing it anymore because they don't believe it's one of the top reasons or top things they need to have in order to be successful, which would be a bad sign for Jalen in terms of a contract extension. But I do wonder if that's their thought process because why else would you build around the quarterback's not his strengths? It doesn't make sense.
None.
Why would the National Football Show put Sileo into being a reporter? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Yeah. You know, that's what I don't get. So I do question where the thought process comes from and where the line of thinking is there. But we'll see.
Yeah, you want me to cover like news in like Pakistan?
Yeah, no,
that ain't cutting it, bro.
What have you been doing for 2 weeks? Ripping into Jalen Hurts? Is that what you've been doing?
No, but that's pretty easy. But it's not.
That's
really.
That's what they were telling me you were doing.
I'm not ripping into him.
They said you've been crushing the guy for 2 weeks.
I've not been crushing the guy. It's very easy when you're making all these changes. All right, Big Z, I'm going to do one last thing here with you. Ready? I got to get this out here. Ready? Here we go.
Did you see any pictures from my wedding, Sills?
I did. I saw you on the boat. I saw you in you had a fedora.
No, that's the honeymoon. That's the honeymoon.
No. He showed me pictures. You being
look. Here's a picture of me and my old man getting ready.
Hey, dude, the kid your brother who opened the door and introduced you.
Yeah.
I told your dad. I go, who the fuck is that? Is that Zander? He goes, no, that's his brother. And I'm like, what? I go, oh my God. I thought that was really that was really awesome.
Heck yeah.
By the way, your chick looked great.
She's looked phenomenal.
Yeah, she looked great in that dress, dude.
Yeah, look, there she is.
Oh, she looks great in that dress.
Yeah, that was all. That
Nice,
was her dress.
nice.
Wait, where's me? I'm trying to find the one of me looking like a stud in the. Look at that! Look at that, Sills.
Oh, that's good, dude.
Yeah,
That's fucking
it's
great.
a good time. All right, what do you got for me?
All right. Hey, real quick before I go to this, what'd you make of that Team USA meltdown last night?
Sills, I didn't watch a single minute of the soccer until last night. Like, I literally not a minute. I didn't even know what was happening, and I just saw everybody tweeting about Trump and some red card. So I'm like, all right, let me see what
Bro,
this
they could have had Pele out there. It wouldn't have mattered.
let me see what this soccer thing is all about. What a waste of my 2 hours. What a waste of the last evening I had before I went back to the grind. What a waste of time. I mean, that was horrible.
Dude,
Soccer really sucks.
I think it does. Listen, here's if you're on your home soil, you had the easiest group to beat. You had everything set up. If you didn't do it now, you were never going to do it. Soccer in this country will never be good, dude. You know what we know how to do? We know how to put a World Cup on. You know what we don't know how to do?
Participate.
Yeah. We don't
I
know how
heard
to
you say
compete
that.
Yeah.
You know what, dude? I'm not mad about it. Like,
I don't care.
I'm good. I don't need America to be the soccer capital. All right.
I don't care.
Now, Messi's cool. I like Messi.
Dude, did you see what he did today?
No, I didn't. I heard you talk about it, though.
They were down 0-2 like at the 90th minute. They beat him 3-2. He's fucking unbelievable. He really is, man. And by the way, he hates media. He doesn't do interviews. Dude, the guy's an absolute goat. All right, let me go over to this now. So, Z, one last thing here with you. I just want to get since you're, I'm sure you're counting a lot of money.
Did you see all the boys down in Florida?
Yeah, I did. Actually, Jalen Carter's down there working out with Sapp.
Yeah, I'm not talking about Carter. I'm talking about Jalen Hurts and the Kango Cat out there on the golf course with all the offensive players.
Congratulations for not robbing a bank. He got his guys together before training camp. Wow.
Whoa.
What an epiphany. You mean like Brady getting Amendola and Edelman together for 20 some odd years and him getting guys together like Gronk and throwing before camp or Manning doing that? Gee, congratulations. Congratulations, Jalen. You're acting like a starting quarterback.
Oh, come on, dude.
I mean, really.
Can't win with this guy.
Hey, you want to give him credit for not robbing a bank. All right, here we go. So, Big C, last exercise here for you, Z's Garage. You ready? 37 for your boy Carter.
No, thank you.
Nolan Smith, is he here or not here in the offseason? Are you whacking him?
Well, next offseason?
Yeah.
You got me solving next offseason problems now?
No. I'm looking at the money because if you don't sign
Carter, no, he's not going to be here long term.
Okay, so there's Smith. You letting Morrow walk out because he's eligible for a contract at the end of this year.
Depends on Carter.
Okay, so we're gonna put an asterisk next to that guy. What are you doing with Tyler Steen? You gonna pay him 20?
I'm not worried about him. No, we'll replace him.
So Steen's gone. So you got Smith, Steen, and Ojomo's a question mark. What are you doing with Tariq Woolen? Another question mark kind of guy? You're just not sure what you're doing? All right.
You got Quinion and Cooper. You can't pay every corner.
Okay. I know. I keep hearing this every year. I can't pay everyone. And boy, everyone seems to leave every year. Okay.
We got a lot of good players.
Well, guess what? Pretty soon you're going to come down to paying high-end guys, and the rest of your roster is not going to be where it was years ago, where you only had one Pro Bowler when you went to the Super Bowl. Q, you're going to give him what? Oh, geez, let's at least 35. And Cooper, you're going to pay what? At least 30. So this coming off season, you got $100 million and 3 players on defense that you're going to sign high-end deals to, and you're going to allow a Jomo, Smith, Steen, and Woolen to walk out the door to keep 3 dudes, right?
No, you know what I think is I want the player that earns to get paid. And like right now, if you went off of last year, which they're not, but if they did, a Jomo earned it. Jomo's earned his playing time. Jomo worked for his playing time. I'm not saying pay him over Carter. I'm just saying based on what happens upcoming, I want whatever guy earns the deal to get the deal. Milton Williams earned a contract a couple of years ago. If Moro Jomo does that, I would have a hard time letting him go. So we'll see, but don't just go by name there. Let the best man win. Take the names off the back of the jersey, and see who goes out there and dominates. But
okay, well, then in that case, if you did that and you take Carter off that list, you keep Smith, Ajomo, Steen, Woolen, Q, and Cooper. If you don't, you lose Ajomo, Woolen, Smith, Tyreek Woolen, and you keep 3 guys. I'd rather have masses than having 3 dudes.
I know you've been saying that. This has been an issue for this team, in terms of that, but it is what it is.
Are you still sold on 12 wins?
I feel pretty good about 12 wins. I do.
What'd you make of ESPN putting the Eagles number 2?
I thought a little rich, but I don't think far off. I don't think there's that many great rosters, so 2 felt a little high to me, but I think 5 to 7 probably would have been good. Who'd they have at 3, 4, and 5?
I didn't see that. I only know that the Rams they had number 1. I only know that. So
I'm not exactly sure. Sills, I had about 42 cannolis over in Italy, and every one of them I ate one for me, and then I ate one for you.
Which one did you like the most?
The regular flavors are really good. I like the pistachio ones over there. Oh. And I got one that was called.
It's the gel in Italy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's incredible. Let me see if I can find the picture I got of the one. They were good cannolis, dude. These were top tier cannolis I was working with. All right, no Diddy, but these are some good cannolis. Where's the damn picture? I know I got a picture. Emily took one.
I think we got 2 supers too that we got to get to before we get.
Let's do it. Let me get them. Here's Hangry Dogs gives 10 memberships.
Nice. There you go, man. Thank you.
Dogs, thank you, man. Appreciate it. And JD3, Sills, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm under the impression that you still think this is a Super Bowl roster. I don't. I think best case is we win 10 games.
I think you have a great chance to be a Super Bowl roster if the offense was being put in the right direction. I have you winning 8 ball games, not because of your talent.
Look, there's 2.
Oh my God. I like the one with the black.
One's pistachio, one's the regular.
Fuck, that looks unbelievable.
Oh, they were good.
Big Z, congratulations to you, my friend.
Thank you, Sills. Good show. Good to be back in the saddle, my friend. Appreciate you.
We will see you tomorrow. Thanks, Big Z.
Later, dude.
You got it. That is my friend Zander Krause. Back off the honeymoon. All right. Without further ado, wonder what a JAKIB does on 4th of July weekend. Is fireworks in the schedule and on the agenda for JAKIB? Without further ado, we bring one of our friends in, longtime friend, Gary Kopp from Fox 29 in Philadelphia. He joins us now.
I can't hear it.
How you doing, JAKIB?
I can't hear you.
You can't hear us.
I can't hear.
You got me? All right. Let's see if we can maybe reconnect here. Let's see if we can reconnect this thing here with Gary Kopp. That's always hit or miss. We do that on the weekend show too. So what Family Guy's on? Let's see here. By the way, that was pretty dope. Take it off Monday now. That's it. I'm done. Okay. Why do we act like we've never had big contracts on this team? You've never had big contracts on offense or on defense. You've never had big contracts on defense, dude. What do you mean? What big contracts? What record-setting contract have you had on defense? The Fletcher Cox deal? Okay. Well, that was 10 years ago. What other big deals have you had in the last 10 years? Have you had? What deals? Let's see here. We could draft Josh Rosen and Mike Glennon, or keep Jalen and keep winning. Well, that's kind of what I think you thought you were drafting. Oh, and by the way, most of you in here are probably moaning and crying. So you cried to Zander and you told Zander that we were being like really upset with Hurts. No, I told you. I don't think Sean Mannion is going to be a better coordinator than Kellen Moore. He's not. He has no experience compared to him, and I don't think he's going to be a better coordinator. If Kellen Moore couldn't do it, what makes you think Sean Mannion is going to do it? And without AJ. So, I mean, all of a sudden, you think you're going to be a better coordinator now than what Kellen Moore was. Based on what? Based on what? My point is, we had massive contracts all at the same time. Bro, you've got the cheapest defense in pro football salary-wise. You've got the most expensive offense right now in the NFL. They couldn't get the ball up the field with AJ. How the hell you expect to get the ball without him? Great question. Hargrave signed a big deal with the Niners, not with the Eagles. It's interesting to see how the Eagles deal with these big contracts coming up. 2 years ago, all the Eagle fans were talking doom and gloom on the Cowboys having 3 contracts coming up. DFW, correct. When you sign contracts the way that they're going to have to sign them, and you got money on that other side of the football, and you got a $60 million decision to be made on your quarterback, you bet it's going to be interesting to see. Hurts has never been the same since he took the concussion hit to the head when he foot slided a few years back. Maybe it's changed his decision-making. The issue with Moore was that he had Stoutland in there fighting back on any changes he wanted to implement. What changes would you make when a running back goes for $2,000? Why would you fight Jeff Stoutland when a running back goes for 6 yards a carry and $2,000? All right. Let's see if we can do this again with our friend. He is our friend Gary Cobb, and he joins us now here on the program. G Cobb, how you doing?
Good. How you making out?
So I asked the question. You didn't hear this, so I'll restate it. For a 4th of July weekend, what is on the Gary Cobb calendar? Is it fireworks? Is it hot dogs and hamburgers? What does a G Cobb family do on 4th of July?
Well, we really did a little bit of both. I got a little granddaughter who's just 3 months. So she's the star, Whatever she does, she go, anything. Just sit there and look and everything. So she's kind of the star. Really, my 4-year-old grandson, too. He's the one that's running around, and he's learning sports, So he wants to play catch with this baseball glove. He wants to hit the ball some, do different things. So he does all these play catch with the football, So he wants to do all those kind of things. So really, we kind of work with him. He doesn't realize he's being trained to do some of these things, but he enjoys doing it. It's a lot of fun. So really, he's the guy that's the most active, my little 4-year-old son. But we were, for the most part, we were at the house and we were grilling. I mean, it's just so hot, man. I mean, but I went out there and sweated and did some grilling and things. And my son, he did a bunch of, he did more than I did, you know, because I went and got in the pool some, you know,
That's
to
good.
relax and everything. But we had a great time, and because I got the grands all at different ages and things, and but the youngest ones are really the stars now. You know, they kind of get all of the attention, and it's a lot of fun though, because you see kids growing up, and my kids have gotten up in the age, and they're all doing well and everything. So it's a good time, and we have some laughs and telling stories and everything, and really. We're checking out, some of the soccer games too, and I tell you, oh boy, yesterday though, man, with the way that the U.S. went down, man, they just you got to show better than that. I mean, that was really disappointing.
They look like the Cowboys in the playoffs.
Yeah, you're right. It looked like the Cowboys in the playoffs. That was, they went ahead once they tied it up. They rarely were in the lead. They were behind the whole time, and they really got dominated. And that's what really was disappointing. I mean, if it's a close game, it's okay if it's a close game. You could lose a close game, but to get dominated the way they did,
Yeah.
that really was frustrating. And that's what you know. But I got my son. He's a big soccer. He loves the soccer. Because he's been over there in Europe and stuff. And you go over there, you kind of catch the bug that everybody has over there. But they're still ahead of us when it comes to soccer. But I wouldn't be surprised if more and more kids, some of the better athletes, some of the kids decide to play soccer because we just are not on their level yet.
No.
It just seems like it's just a different level of soccer.
I got to ask you. So I had a conversation with Warren Sapp about Jalen Carter. Both guys are from Apopka, Florida. Both guys went to the same high school. He's been working.
Is that so?
Yeah, Apopka High.
Man, wow.
And so get this. I tweeted out something about Jalen Carter, and I said that according to Drew Rosenhaus's people, they are far apart in contract when it comes to years and it comes to signing bonus. And Sapp was like this. Yeah, they're far apart. Well, Warren Sapp was also represented by Rosenhaus.
Uh-huh.
So my question to you is, how concerned are you that you may have another disgruntled player going into the football season like you did with AJ last year?
Yeah.
If they don't work a deal out, I mean, is there any concern? Or do you think that with the professionalism that you've seen with Carter, good or bad, do you think he has the character to fight through that if there's no contract given to him before the camp starts?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a problem. I really, because I kind of smelled that when he decided that he wasn't going to do anything during the workouts other than stretch. He went out there with everybody. He did the stretching and everything. Other than that, he didn't do anything. So I see that there's a problem up the road. Yeah, they're good. I wouldn't be surprised if he would have hold out or something would go on in that way because I don't know that the Eagles are totally committed to him from the standpoint that they're not sure how solid he is. See, they're not sure how consistent he will be. They like the way he's worked out this offseason. They do like that, but I just don't really know the commitment of the Eagles to him. I think they're in a position where he's pretty much. I think he's got him in a way because they need him. They need him bad. I mean, they would like, of course, to win another championship, at least put themselves in position to have that opportunity. And I think he's one of the key pieces. So I think that they're going to be able to get a good salary out of the Eagles. But I know they set boundaries, though. And they're going to say, well, we're only going to go up to A, B, or C, and that's it, So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a there's an impasse where they decide that, they don't want to come in or whatever, and there's some kind of a fight that goes on.
I'll ask you this. I'll ask you both sides of it then. Do you think that the Eagles would take a knee and forget last year and pay him Jeffrey Simmons money? Or do you think there's a more likelihood that they're just going to kick the can down the road?
That's a good one. Right now, I think that they think they got him. They think they're going to be able to pressure him, and I don't know
Would
that
he
they're.
take less? Would he take less, you think?
I think initially, yeah, they could really put some things in his salary where he's not getting the guaranteed money, where he's got to produce. If he were to produce like he's capable of doing, they would be willing to pay him the big money, even maybe set the bar up higher. If they knew they were going to get his best. Whole thing is they don't know whether they're going to get his best. They think they are, but like if he has some success, is he going to continue to give you his best? Is he going to continue to work like he's been working this off season? Because he hasn't worked this hard that every off season. He hasn't. He hasn't been the kind of, where you got to say, okay, all right, you got to get out of here. You're working out too much. He's not that kind of guy. He hasn't been that way, but he's been working his butt off this year. And I think, the contract, of course, is part of it. See, now,
Gary, are you? Some players want to be great all the time.
That's right.
Some players work their asses off all the time.
That's right.
Working to get the contract. See, I'm starting to believe that Jordan Davis wants to be a great player, and he's putting the work in. It wasn't just about the contract extension. It was he really wants to be. Are you buying that with Carter and with Drew Rosenhaus? That, like you said, that guy's not a guy who gets in the weight room and just stays in the weight room 24/7. This ain't Arnold Schwarzenegger here.
Yeah.
This is the guy right now working on a contract. You know what I'm saying? Or is he working on a deal, or is he working to be great?
Well, I think that the motivation initially, this has been, he wants to get a better deal. I think that's the motivation. I think Drew Rosenhaus told him, go in there, work your butt off, because we're negotiating this deal. They're going to be willing to, when they see how hard you're working and everything, that's going to help with this negotiation. Is he going to keep doing that? I can't say that I know that he's going to keep doing that.
Do you trust
him? I guess in a way, I think that if he gets the type of attention that he wants, I think that, he probably could, especially with him, and a teammate in Davis, working his butt off. I think that'll help, but I can't guarantee that he's going to do it though. I don't know because because the kind of money they're going to be making, you're going to be spending that. He's going to be spending that money, man. There are things that can distract you from the football that he could get into because of the money he's going to be making. So I think they would really like to tie his would tie some of that money up to his how well he plays and everything, but I don't think they're going to be able to do it. So one of them is going to win. One of them is going to win this negotiation. The Eagles would like to tie this up with performance. You get A. If you put a lot of a lot of things in there where he's got to play to this level or that level, but you can't do that at this level, though. You can't do it where they're not going to be able to do that to him. So,
hey, Drew Rosenhaus is going to go. That sounds great, Gary, but we're about base and roster bonus.
That's right. That's right. That's what they're going to do. That's right.
Great. Gary, couple questions here before we let you go here. How much do you think they're going to miss Nakobe Dean?
When I'm thinking about these guys, I haven't seen the personality amongst the linebackers. That's the leader that he is. See, it's not just so much playing. It's the leadership that really he brought it to the team. You could see he's able to get in that huddle and get in people's face, especially, all of the Georgia guys. Look how many guys you got on there. And he knows how to get under those guys and get them and push them and get the best out of them. So I do think they're going to miss him. I see guys that are as good of players as he is, but the leadership part, I really don't see that person. And who knows? We'll see if somebody, takes the step up to be that guy to step in, because that's the biggest thing that they're missing with him is he is a leader. He's a player and everything, but he gets in the huddle and he knows how to get all those guys going, the whole team. And he's a guy that everybody would take seriously because, he's got leadership qualities. I can't say, I don't know who the other guy, I don't know the linebacker that's going to be able to do that now. I don't, I haven't heard that guy.
Do they have enough at safety, in your opinion?
I would like to see them do more. They don't have anything special at safety. I think they go into safety with guys that they're going to just, they got a guy out there. They're not exceptional. I know that you could say, well, they didn't have great safeties before, so I think they can make it with the safeties they got. They just don't want those guys giving up big plays, doing a good job tackling, and if you get a chance to force some interceptions and you come down with the ball and things, but they're just happy with a guy out there that's not going to give up big plays because they've got exceptional people at the cornerback position. They have got the best group of cornerbacks in the league, and I don't think it's close. They got the best. When you talk about Kenyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, and then and the I forgetting his name, but yeah, and you add him. I mean, talent wise, they're the best. It's not even close. I think in the league, covering people and locking down wide receivers and things. So I don't think they need great. They don't need great safeties. They need good safeties that are not going to give up big plays. That's the biggest thing. Good tacklers. They don't have to be great cover guys.
Gary, I'll ask you one last one here and let you go here on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe that Kellen Moore, and I asked Zander this a couple minutes ago, and I'm going to ask you this. You believe that Kellen Moore was a good coordinator, right, when he was here? Kellen Moore.
Yeah, I think he was. Yeah, I do.
Okay, well, a couple of years ago, he tried all of the motion, and he tried to do all the things that they're attempting to do this offseason.
Yeah.
Kellen Moore couldn't do it. What makes you think Sean Mannion's going to be able to do something that Kellen Moore couldn't do when Kellen Moore was more experienced?
Yeah, Kellen Moore was more experienced, but I think this is a different offense. I think it's not a total different offense, but I think subtleties in this offense are different things that I think he's going to be able to do it because it's a different offense. They really will be the plays. A lot of the plays they're running, these are not the same plays. A lot of it's timing. We're going to see whether Jalen's able to flourish in this type of offense. That is going to be the key. So we're going to be seeing how Jalen does. But the offense is a little different, and the subtleties about the way they do things, the way they attack certain people, the way they attack, let's say, a certain linebacker, where they got a guy at the timing. There's going to be a guy in front of him and a guy in back of him, where they're running, let's say, a crossing route. And you're going to have, a guy in front of him, a guy in back of him. So this is a timing offense. And the key is going to be Jalen. He's going to be the key. Jalen Hurts is going to be the key to this offense to see if he can get into the flow and make the reads that he needs to make. It's really not the same as what the Eagles have done in the past. This is a completely different offense. I think that they can do very well in it, but it's not going to be overnight. And that's what is going to have people sweating a little bit, is they might not start off and just be flowing in the offense. And Jalen may take a while to get used to it.
Yeah.
I
think it's going to take at least probably a month or so before he's probably in the swing of it, no?
And I would say that, and that's where the defense has got to carry them at the start of the season. I think the defense can be good enough to carry them, but the defense is going to have to carry them initially because it is going to take some time, and things have changed. AJ's not there anymore. Devontae's going to be their number one receiver. Then they got Lemon, who is a rookie. You can't really depend on a rookie to come in, and so it's going to take a little while for them to get into the flow of this offense. The defense has got to carry them, initially, and then eventually, Jalen has to get into where he gets into the flow of this offense and everything. I don't know how long that's going to take. I don't know how long the offense is going to take. Now, of course, it would help if you're running for 150 yards. You don't have to worry about that much.
Right on. JAKIB, thank you so much. We're 21 days out from the start of training camp. Can't believe it already. But then again, JAKIB, when you and I went to training camp, you had to pack a couple suitcases, not just a handbag nowadays. Hey, you pack a handbag today now to go to camp, don't you?
Well, honestly, they really shouldn't call it training camp anymore.
No.
Because it's not on anywhere near the same level.
It's not. 3-a-days and all that other BS you and I
Oh,
did.
man.
JAKIB, thank you so much. We'll see you next week. Thank you, man, for taking
All right,
time.
buddy. Have a good one.
You got it. That is Gary Cobb here. I want to show you something here that's completely absurd. See, the Cowboys fired Kellen Moore because they said Dak can't do it with Kellen Moore. Jalen Hurts said, watch me win a Super Bowl with Kellen Moore in his 2,900 passing yards and 18 touchdowns. Philadelphia is under the influence that he thinks that Jalen Hurts led that team that year. Look how he tries changing the narrative. The guy who was the star of that team was Barkley. Your boy was a caboose. Who are you killing? Your boy was the caboose that season. I want to show you guys something. We're going to talk about Saquon Barkley. Because if Prince is still in here, he tried some bullshit. And I'm going to make a point to you about Barkley and who you think he is. Barkley had a normal year last year. Barkley had a normal year. Last year, Saquon Barkley had the fourth most yards from scrimmage in his entire career. See, 24, 18, 22, and 25. So, I mean, Saquon Barkley had an average year. His last year, 1,400 yards. That's about right. And I said, as I've said, I don't think your offense is going to be better without A.J. Brown. That's ordinary. Well, that's what he does normally. He averages about 15 yards from scrimmage in his 8 years. That was the fourth best year in his 8 years. I mean, the fourth best. So all of a sudden, thinking that he's going to be anywhere near that $2,000 is ridiculous. We're going to war. Let's see here. Brandon gets on the video. He's calling his own team little ass boys. I think Brandon Ayuk they should just cut his ass. With the Eagles, he averaged 1,800 yards. Last year, he was 43rd in yards per carry. So isn't chemistry more important than talent? I think so. In the team sport, I do. I do. Hurts' terrible play almost cost us in 24 postseason. Everybody was great in the divisional round except Hurts. Jalen won with Kellen only because Kellen stopped the bleeding and the turnover machine was 4 games in and leaned hard on the running game. Absolutely. They were averaging 35. We pointed it out. First 4 games in 2024, they averaged 35.5 yards, passing attempts per game. After that, they averaged 20. Yes. Okay. Let's see here. I mean, Barkley was hit in the backfield almost every play last year. Okay, Jerry. Well, what makes you think it's going to be any better this year? The new offense? Okay. So, Jerry, your opinion is that Sean Mannion's offense is going to help the O-line. Is that right? Is that correct? Sills, it's largely not the same as football in my experience, but you can expand on how money has negatively affected the growth of talent in various sports in the U.S. The egregious example is soccer. Look, I've said it before, soccer in this country will never be good because elitists play it. They're trying to change that now, but until they get rid of the clubs, we'll never be good at it. Talent-wise, we are worse. I agree with you, but we could be better off not having to feed the ball to a guy. It's up to Hurts how to distribute the ball. Well, let me ask you this, Twiz. Twiz, do you believe that Jalen Hurts has spread the ball as a passing quarterback in his time as an Eagle thrower? And I agree with John McMullen and some of the guys, I think Jeff Kerr was on with them, when they said this. Dude, without Jalen Hurts running, you've taken basically the guy's superpowers away. And I think he's a mediocre passer. As a matter of fact, I think he's a less than mediocre passer when you take his running ability away. Cam looks a lot better. Landon looks better even though he's limping. So how could you look better if you're limping? Like J-Mac said today, Landon is always limping. Blocking assignments are supposedly going to be simplified. I think we run better. So you think a guy who's limping and you're going to run stretch plays, you think he's going to be better suited for this offense, getting him out and running stretch plays with a guy who's limping and had 13 surgeries? I agree with you, Sales. Appreciate the super. It all comes down to the health of the offensive line. Why in God's name would you think they're going to be healthier? What? Is this another hope? Okay. Year older. Lane's a year older. Mulata's a year older. Landon's a year older. I mean, dude, when you have to go out of the country to do procedures on your back, you think we're looking at something here? Look at this. Jalen was top 5 in passer rating, top 10 quarterback stats proven. Get this. Last 5 years of his quarterbacking, the passing offense has been 28th, 8th, 16th, 29, and 23. And this is why they're changing it. If he's so good, why are they changing everything? Bro, this is the dumbest shit every single time when an idiot brings this up. If he's so good of a passer, why does AJ hate playing with him? And secondly, why are they changing the entire passing attack? Give me a break. How dumb can you be with that take? Eagles got older, less talented, worse coaching than last year, but people still think the Eagles will have a better record. Yeah, because of their defense and some of the skilled guys they have. Okay? Medium quarterback. Get it in your head, people. Stop, Eagle fans. Hey, my friend, all of this is going to play out. I know. Top 5 passer. Top 5 passer. Yeah. Like when I think of top 5 passers in the game, he ain't it. Plus, going out of the country to get experimental stem cell treatment for Juergens is a question mark. Can that help him get back or will it hurt him? I don't know. Okay. Seals, have you ever noticed the offense runs a lot smoother when Goddard is the focal point? He needs to be threatening all areas of the field. Hey, Twiz, I think he's probably the most underutilized player in that entire offensive attack. By the way, that one thing that I want to go back to that I brought up with Zander, and it's about this offensive line coach, Chris Cooper. Again, I want to read you like some of the excerpts from this Inside the Eagles. At any job, bosses and their employees may not always get along with one another. And the Eagles offensive line coach, Chris Cooper, is learning this lesson the hard way. Before filling massive shoes of Chef Stoutland, Cooper spent 4 seasons as the offensive line coach with the Minnesota Vikings, with one of the players he coached being former second-rounder Ed Ingram. While being interviewed by a local television station in Houston, the now Texans offensive lineman talked about his excitement of joining the team and seemed to take a shot at Cooper while talking about his new offensive line coach. And here's some of the comments he made. What better place for them to be than Houston, Ingram said. I came here, I excelled. Shout out to Cole Popovich. He never let me become complacent. He always challenged me personally. I've always thought I'm a great player. All I need is the right person to help me. Coming here was probably the best thing to ever happen in my career. Coming here and having a coach. Coming here was probably the best thing to ever happen to my career. Pretty much took me under his wing and kind of honed all my skills because the skills were here and there. I just needed to be honed in, just controlled a little bit. It was helped me out so tremendously. It's a backhanded slap at Chris Cooper. There's no doubt about it. Now, to Zander's point, you know, there's no question you can get coaches who don't fit a guy, and a guy could go somewhere else, and the coach and that player hit. And those guys all come together, and everything's great. You get more out of that player. Could be a different scheme. The quarterback, the offensive coordinator. If an organization has you in mind, Minnesota Vikings may have thought Ingram was a bust. And they started to begin the process of moving off. The general manager sucked. Okay? Hold on. Using Houston's O-line as an example of great coaching is hilarious. Why? Have they missed the playoffs? I know it's players first, but great coaches, great teachers, they could change you forever. Absolutely. Okay? Now listen. I think, and I'm going to agree with Zander on this one, I think you could take what Chris Cooper and what Ed Ingram said and what Cole Popovich, I think you could really put that into a conversation. And I think that is totally something to keep an eye on. Get this. Once again, Viking Loser asks, Dak has half the resume Hurts has. So? That don't mean Jalen's better. He's not a better player. dude, Hurts has got better resumes, got a better resume than almost all the quarterbacks in the NFL. He's not better than them. Not better than Allen or Burrow or these guys. Hey, here's a better one. Hurts has a better resume than Dan Marino. Is he better than Dan Marino? I mean, he's got a better resume than Dan Marino. Jalen Hurts, let me guess, is a better quarterback than Dan Marino. Joe Montana is on record saying Marino's the best player ever at quarterback position, and he won nothing. That's correct. Dan Marino's the best passer the game has ever seen. Nobody has ever played from the pocket as good as Marino did. Nobody. I mean, Marino was the best thrower of the football of all. When you put a game film on and you want to watch how you throw the football, Marino's the guy you put the game film on. He changed the entire way you pass the football. He changed the game and how the game is today in throwing the football. All of that. He was a game-changing dude. He's an average quarterback. If he doesn't run, he's a backup. Correct. If he runs, he's electric. Sills, all I'm saying is I don't give a damn how many passing yards a quarterback threw for the last 10 years. Just because you like Dan Marino regular season doesn't mean he's winning a championship. Just because he won a championship, Jalen Hurts, doesn't mean he's better than Dan Marino. He's not better than Marino. You can't put that in your brain. You think because Nick Foles has won a Super Bowl, or you think that Jim Plunkett won 2 Super Bowls, a rookie of the year, he's better than Dan Marino. It's ludicrous. By the way, Plunkett is more accomplished than Hurts. And I would take Hurts over Jim Plunkett. Okay? I would take Hurts over him. Because Jalen can run more. He's more elusive. I would take him over Jim Plunkett. It's a stupid conversation. This Philadelphia thing is dumb. Get this. Well, if you think that Jalen Hurts is a better player than Patrick Mahomes, you're right. I won't argue with you. It's a stupid conversation. Guy's thrown for over 5,000 yards, 50 touchdowns. He's been to 5 Super Bowls and won 3 of them. He's won 16-5. He's got the yards. He's got the records. And he's got records and rings. Both of them. And his talent. Funny how the week after Petula's house got egged, Petula opened up the offense and asked Hurts to throw more across the middle of the field. That resulted in 4 INTs. Okay. That's more than dumb. McMahon's a better passer than Jalen will ever have been. The problem with McMahon was he couldn't stay healthy. He just couldn't stay healthy. See, now you're talking about Super Bowls within a few minutes ago. No. I'm talking about all of it. Rings and records. He's winning Super Bowls with Juju Smith-Schuster. Okay? He throws for $5,000. He wins games. Hurts throws for 2,900 yards and 18 touchdowns. He's limited. Bigsby needs to get more running back 2 carries. Shipley needs to get the ball in his hand. Rich Gannon wasn't a good passer early and turned himself into a good passer. That couldn't be further from the truth. Here. Rich Gannon was on bad teams. That's not true. Here. Give you a great example of this. So when Rich Gannon got to Rich Gannon was on Minnesota and Kansas City. They were not very good teams, and he was a backup. When he became a starter with John Gruden, that's when he threw for 38, 34. And when he got to Oakland, 46, 89. But look how many teams he was on. 1, 2, 3 football teams. Played 17 years. Winning record, too. But he never got his opportunity to start until later in his career. He was never a starter. He was most he started was Minnesota in 92. 6 starts. Then when he got to Oakland, he became a starter with Gruden. Gruden liked experienced quarterbacks. John Gruden's never really had. Let's see here. Hold on. I'm trying to get something from Sap. Trying to get back now. Okay, hold on here. So wait, we may be doing something here. I'm waiting on Sap. Let's see here. What Nick Foles did in the Super Bowl was more impressive than what Hurts did. Are we going to call Nick Foles elite? He had elite talent. He just couldn't put it together. Let's see. Look what's incredible, that breaking stuff down. I'm trying to get Warren on. It's exactly what I've done. Let's see if we can. I'm trying to get Warren on. Dan Marino was a one-dimensional passing quarterback. See, Hurts might not have Marino arm, but Jalen Hurts' legs is a big part of us going to 2 Super Bowls. That's correct. And if he doesn't use those legs, he's not a very good quarterback. If AB didn't have a meltdown, the Raiders might have did something. It wasn't Antonio Brown then that had that meltdown. It was a center. Let's see. Dude, that Gruden and Andrew Luck interview ages like fine wine. Nick Foles and Peyton Manning are the only quarterbacks in NFL history to throw for 7 touchdowns in a single game. All right. So let's pay some bills here. We'll come back. We're going to answer some of these questions here. Guys, my great friends at Morgan & Morgan, the number 1 injury law firm in all of America for a reason. Okay? I tell you this all the time. My friends down in Florida was initially offered $350K. There's a family down there that we talked to. They ended up getting nearly $12 million in settlement. The family in Pennsylvania here was offered $650K. They got nearly $30 million in settlement. Do me a favor. Go to forthepeople.com/Big Sills or pound law 529. That's FORthepeople.com/Big Sills or pound law 529. And do me a favor. You tell them Big Sills sent you.
There's a reason Detective Johnson is the gossip king.
Oh, did you hear?
Jackie and Tom?
Are getting a divorce? Mm-hmm. Sad.
Well, I heard that Ashley...
Had work done on her face? Yeah, oof.
Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. Injured? With over $25 billion recovered for our clients, there's a reason to go big.
Bathroom? Okay.
Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Oh, okay.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica, who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Shot Takers and the Tastemakers. Welcome to the Viewfinders, the Thrill Seekers, and the Night Owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
EAGLES. Eagles.
"21 days. 21 days until the start of training camp. Man, right around the corner, dude. We're going to get over some of these questions, too. I was talking to Zander about. We're going to go over these questions here with you guys here in a second here, but Hurts and Foles share something. They have all Hall of Fame stories. They aren't Hall of Fame players, but they're two of the best stories in football history. Yes, sir. I'll agree to that. I'll agree to that. Yes, agreed. Anybody who uses a singular performance to judge a player shouldn't be commenting on football. That is such a great take. People think 60 minutes of football enshrines you as one of the greatest of all time. It enshrines the great ones. I mean, Phil Simms had an MVP and the greatest performer. Do you know who? Hey, Yale. Tell these people who had the greatest performance in the history of the Super Bowl. It was Phil Simms. He was like 26 of 28 or something in the Super Bowl against the Broncos. I think he had 2 or 3 incompletions in the ball game. I mean, he had one of the greatest performances of all time. Doesn't make him a legendary player. Says, where do you get that I said Nick Foles was better than Dan Marino. Well, take the Super Bowl out. What does Hurts have? That's better than any quarterback in the NFL. As a skill. Take the team accomplished. Listen, I could take the team accomplishments away from Burrow and go like this. Exceptional in the pocket. Every quarterback. I'll go here. Take the team element away. Burrow's exceptional in the pocket. His progression reading is second to none. Nobody does a better job at reading defenses than Joe Burrow in the NFL. His problem is staying healthy. Nobody does a better job. Now, when you start to talk like this about Lamar, exceptionally gifted, exceptional athlete, has improved massively as a passer. His progression reading is sensational. His decision-making at times is questionable, especially when he's pressed in playoff games. But make no mistake, his 2 MVPs, how he's played, he has showed consistency all the time on how to play in the NFL. He's a great football player. Here's how you would talk about Hurts and his skill set. He's marginal as a pocket passer. He leaves the pocket. He rolls right. He's predictable in his passing, and he struggles at reading the defense and throwing it across the middle of the field. Nowhere in the league do you talk like that about anybody like Purdy or Stafford or any of those guys. You don't talk like that about any of those dudes like that. Joe Burrow could never have the pre-written quotes that Hurts has. What? Okay. Hurts' combo of arm and legs is better than Lamar's. When? What? Man. Jesus criminy. So you think the combination that Jalen Hurts has better combo of athletic ability than Lamar? Lamar threw for $4,000, 40 some odd touchdowns and 4 picks and ran for 950 yards. And you think Hurts is better? Man. Cincinnati has done Burrow such an injustice and not surrounding Burrow with a great offensive line. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, what happened on 4 verts? Oh, that's right. He blamed the coach. Sills, the Eagles fan base isn't this delusional. I know it's not. I know it's not. Hey, by the way, Jim, so you know, 99% of the Eagle fan base are brilliant sports fans. There's just some of these Jalenite guys that look at the quarterback as the end-all. People actually see the team for what it is. And if a guy's not performing, get him out of there. It's more about the logo on the hat for you than it is about the name on the back of the jersey. You're what I call a great fan. Who gives a shit what the name on the back of? I don't. The guy's not performing, get him out of there. Put someone else in. You know, I had heard that. I didn't know that Hendrickson also went to Apaka High. I did not know that. I didn't know that. But now that you said that, actually, if the ball comes out on time, the 4 verts play works. That's why Law wanted you to run the tush push. One thing you could say about Lamar is he has greatly improved his passing from his rookie year He was terrible his rookie season. DFW, I am the first to admit this about Lamar Jackson. When I saw him replace Flacco and Lamar, excuse me, and Lamar got in there, I think it was a playoff game against the Chargers. I swear to God, dude, DFW, I said that this guy won't be in the league in 3 years. He's just not that good. Man, was I wrong. I mean, when healthy, he led the NFL in passing yards or passing touchdowns his first year starting, 36. He threw for 3,100 yards. And that year, I think he ran for 1,200 yards. So let me get this right. That guy ran for 3,100 yards, led the NFL in passing touchdowns, and ran for 1,200 yards. And what was the record? They were 13-2. Next year, they go 11-4, 27-57 and 26 touchdowns and 9 picks. He goes for another grand running the ball. 7 touchdowns. Then he gets hurt. 12 games, 16 games. He comes back in 23, throws for 36, 78. He's got low INTs. He's the all-time leading passer in NFL history. It's incredible. This guy is a 2-time NFL MVP. He's been first-team All-Pro 4 times. He's made the Pro Bowl 4 times. First-team All-Pro 4 times. Man. Lamar Jackson had good impact. He probably had more contending rosters the last 9 years than the Eagles and still can't win a championship game. I seen that movie before. You mean he ran into Mahomes and Brady? Is that right? Right? You mean he ran into Mahomes and Brady in the playoffs and Allen and them guys? Is that correct? Yeah. Who'd you run into? Brock Purdy? As much as Lamar runs, he hasn't taken as many big hits as you would expect. He knows how to slide and avoid big contact. I think they coach him wrong, though, dude. They need more Derrick Henry in the postseason. Dan, I wanted to ask you why Miami U never built the campus stadium. Some Temple University BS, I feel. You are never a true college team without it being on campus. Well, when I played there, we played at the Orange Bowl. And it was more of a community thing. And I enjoyed playing at the Orange Bowl. It was my favorite thing in my life, football-wise, was playing at the Orange Bowl. 9 Super Bowls, numerous national championship games, us included. I mean, I would never want an on-campus stadium if you told me I couldn't play at my college career at the Orange Bowl. I spent 3 of my years, my teenage years, at the Orange Bowl, and I'll never in a million years ever wanted to have played anywhere else but the Orange Bowl. I love playing at the OB. Yeah, that's right. Hurts is better. Okay? Yeah, he's better. He was serious, bro. Change his picture to it. Let's see here. Seals, what do Warner Manning, Breeze, Eli Manning, Brady, Mahomes, Stafford, Darnold all have in common 4,000-yard passers that all won Super Bowls. Guess that the Bucs, Philadelphia's theory. Sills, you ever won a championship? I'd love getting asked that. One, two, three, and my NFL alumni ring. How you doing? It was a guy in here called, he got mad at Zander and stopped coming in the chat. But you shouldn't get your panties in a bye. Dude. Still's talking like the Eagles and Jalen Hurts didn't smoke Mahomes like a fresh pack. Bro, you're not better. You're not better. No, hey, and do me a favor, too. Philadelphia, don't tell anybody in public that either. They'll lock you up. I mean, they'll lock you up. Let's see. Here. Sills, that's your excuse. Lamar ran into Patrick Mahomes. But what if it was to say that Patrick Mahomes ran into Hurts? Dude, Lamar Jackson running into Brady and Mahomes versus running into Jalen Hurts? Who doesn't fit? You're making Hurts sound like he's Dan Marino or Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson. He's not. It's like saying Patrick Mahomes ran. Hey, listen, Brady ran into Foles. Foles is what? Lamar? I mean, this guy's making Hurts sound like he's Patrick Mahomes. Dude, he's Jalen Hurts. Still say there's no bigger football atmosphere than playing at Beaver Stadium. Well, I'll tell you what. Playing at the Swamp and at Florida Field is quite the place. When you go to Florida Field and you play there, or you go to Lambeau and you play, or you play at the Coliseum when it's packed. Where else have I played? Clemson is a great place. Auburn. I played at Auburn. Zander will love this. I played at Legion Field. Doak Campbell, incredible. They turn the lights out and everybody gets their lighters and they light the lighters. Then you start hearing this. This horse comes running out, spears on fire. It's pretty intimidating. It's pretty dope for you to be able to like see something like that and experience something like that. Mahomes couldn't throw to an open tight end last year. You're right. He sucks. I've played there. Rasputin at Bryce Stadium. Guess what they decided to do? Here, who was the first opponent? What the hell was the score of that game? when South Carolina opened up, when South Carolina opened the new stadium, who was the visiting team? Okay. So in 1986, they opened, I thought it was the first, I know it was ESPN's very first college football game. 1986. Miami versus South Carolina. We beat the brakes off them. First game on ESPN ever. Yep, it was their first broadcast. Yes, 1986 college football season opener, number 3 Miami, and the South Carolina Gamecocks was nationally broadcast on ESPN. The game took place at William Bryce Stadium. I think we were up 34-0 at half. We beat them 34-14. It was the first broadcast. I had 2 sacks in that game. We beat the brakes off them too. Cool stadium though. But you thought you were going to have like a home opener versus us, and we beat the brakes off you. Yeah. Homecoming and us. You never wanted to schedule us because we weren't. I lost 1 game in 3 years. Not going to beat us. Seals, Mahomes' disrespect is crazy. I guarantee if he was healthy last year, that him and Coach Reed still would have found a path to the AFC Championship. Dude isn't going anywhere. They do need to get some people around him, though. I will say that. Okay? Philadelphia, stop talking about Hurts and Mahomes. Criminy. Clemson has had the better team, but the Gamecock environment is a great time. Yes. Yes. It's a great time. Notre Dame Stadium was all right. The crowd did most of the work. Like I said, at the end of the day, dude, when we played at Miami, Notre Dame wasn't very good. So they were like roadkill. We beat the pants off them. They were never competitive. They were like Temple to us. They were just never really good. I mean, they were never good. We beat them 58-7. And we beat them 20-0. 24-0. Yeah, 58-7. And we beat them 24-0. 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, we beat them 82-7 in 2 games. I don't know. They were roadkill. Compared to other places, Sills, there are other stadiums and fandoms that are more diehard in that regard. Hey, Notre Dame is pretty cool, dude. Notre Dame is pretty cool. It's a pretty cool place. Yeah, Sills, I agree. They need to boost up the personnel because the other AFC teams are getting stronger. Actually, I think the NFC is getting stronger. And I don't think the AFC is going to be in the conversation because of those quarterbacks. And I happen to agree with you. They need to get those rosters better because the NFC, I think, is a better conference right now than the AFC. You may have those quarterbacks over there on that side, but Seattle, the Rams, Detroit, Chicago, the Niners, the Eagles, you got all those teams. Who's got a better roster in the AFC than those teams? You know who I think has the best roster in the AFC? maybe Denver. Denver may have, Denver may have the best roster in the NFL. Yeah, I don't believe the AFC is packed like that. It was a couple years back, but I don't believe that. Let's see here. Chargers. I agree. I think the Chargers. I got Justin Herbert winning the NFL MVP award. Sills, I remember reading an old Sports Illustrated that said Lou Holtz was trying to get Randy Moss to Notre Dame, as well as Iverson. It's a true story. Actually, he was at Notre Dame. What was it? Randy Moss got thrown. I think it was a recruiting trip. He got caught smoking weed, and they pulled his scholarship, I think. Did Notre Dame pull Randy Moss's scholarship? Yes. Notre Dame ultimately rescinded Randy Moss's scholarship and denied his enrollment in 1995. This occurred after he pleaded guilty to 2 counts of misdemeanor battery stemming from a racially charged fight at his high school. I thought it was bullshit. Following the incident, Moss signed with Florida State. However, because he had initially committed to Notre Dame, he was forced to sit out his freshman season. While serving a jail sentence for violating probation from his initial high school fight, he tested positive for marijuana. And that's how they ended up getting him off to FSU. And that's how he ended up at Marshall. He's from West Virginia. I have a feeling we could see Carter and Hurts traded before the deadline for some nice picks. That's crazy. Jalen Hurts being traded in season? Yeah, no. NFC teams are a bit heavy with the void years nonsense. That's a true comment. Never would have thought Moss is a 420 Krause. So, dude made because Lamar can't get past Mahomes. Yet Hurts said that's not that hard. So do you think Peyton Manning had a winning record versus Tom Brady? Dude, you are so in denial. What a Jalenite. It's beyond really any. I mean, your boy got coordinators fired, didn't he? How about Philadelphia? Philadelphia. Did Jalen Hurts get Brian Johnson and Kevin Patullo fired? Yes or no? Did he get those guys fired? Because of poor quarterback play? Did he? Yes or no? Philadelphia. Did Hurts get those coordinators fired? Did he? Did Hurts get those quarterback? Did they get those coaches fired? Okay. So you're aware Mahomes missed the playoffs last year. Was he then in Lamar? Dude. And you ran into Brock Purdy in a stiff 49er team and got whacked on your own backyard by a JV team. Tell me I missed that. And you got whacked by a JV team. Is that right? without Kittle. Is that right? You got whacked by a JV football team. Did you not? What happened last year? Let me guess. Kevin Patullo. That's a great look at Twiz. Mahomes got more rings in our franchise. That's a freaking great twist right there. That's a good post, bro. So according to Philadelphia, Trent Dilfer and Nick Foles have punched their tickets to Canton. Yeah, Foles beat Brady. If Mahomes was going to get hurt, he did it at the perfect time in his career. Chiefs needed to reload. That's a great take. Yeah, but we'll see, Michael. Michael, we'll see if they're able to, we'll see if they're able to put – because look at this, man. I'll say it again. What did Kansas City do? Look at Kansas City here. What did the Chiefs do? Here's their depth chart. Mahomes, Kenneth Walker. That is going to be an interesting addition. Kenneth Walker, Rashid Rice, Xavier Worthy, and Travis Kelce. That's not awful. Rashid Rice a year ago, 571 receiving yards. Worthy, what did he have? 532. Dude, these guys are just dudes. What did Kelce have? 851, 76 targets. Not bad for a 36-year-old guy. That's not terrible. 10 yards a catch. Did Hurts also get people head coaching jobs as well, or is this just one-sided blame game? Okay, so you think a quarterback with 2,900 yards and 18 touchdowns got Kellen Moore that job? Really? You think what he did in 24 with the passing game, that was 29th in the NFL, was the reason he got that job? Do you really think that, DC? The job that Jalen Hurts did that year with the 29th rated passing game and 2,900 yards and 18 touchdowns is why he got that Saints job? Good God. You'll make anything up. Bo Nix is a better quarterback than Mahomes. When Nick had Kellen Moore, his press conferences were smart intelligence, all that left. Seals, they got Kenneth Walker and drafted another 5'10 receiver. I don't know. I'm with you. Jalen did a great job finishing 29th in passing. Really? Who hired Kellen as head coach before coming to Philly? Who hired Kellen as a head coach before coming to Philly? Nobody. Yeah. Saquon Barkley got him that job. And I don't think that you understand that the Kansas City Chiefs went to the AFC Championship game 7 years in a row from the first time he started, with 5 Super Bowl appearances and 3 wins and over 5,000 yards passing a year. They missed the playoffs last year. You have never put a streak like that together. And you will never. No team will ever do that. Put 7 conference championship games. How many conference title games did Brady play in a row? He may have done that. Let me see. How many consecutive conference title games did Brady play in a row? Eight. My bad. Brady went to 8. Let's see here. Mahomes, I think, went to 7. How many did McNabb go? Four. Rams, Bucks, Panthers, Falcons. And they ended up advancing to the Super Bowl in 2004. I forgot that. Bro. Yeah, whatever. All these teams that passed on Lamar, even though, listen, it was one of the really great nuggets that Ozzie Newsome left. With the 32nd pick overall, they took Lamar, which is crazy great. The difference between Kellen Moore in Dallas and Kellen Moore in Philly is he matured and put his pride aside, leaning on the run game, even though he loves to pass the ball. That's exactly what he did. He had to, by the way. And I think that was by force. And I'll show you something else. Watch this. His first year in New Orleans. Here. They threw the ball 591 times. Between Spencer Rattler and Tyler Slaw. Tyler Shook. He threw the ball 500. And by the way, think of this. They threw the ball 591 times with 397 completions and 67.2 completion percentage. That is a whale of a job between those quarterbacks. And I'll show you what he did with Hurts. The year he was here, they threw the ball with Jalen 361 times. It was the least attempts of any time in his career. They basically threw the ball an additional 250 more times this past season because that's what Kellen Moore wants to do. Reyes, out all these years, you know me, you know that team you saw the champ game used to be a broken team. Seals Hurts is so bad, AJ will need 1,300-yard seasons, 10 TD seasons every season to upgrade, right? I don't think AJ had bad years, dude. All the targets went to him. But it made his job harder. They didn't spread the ball around. Hey, Brandon, why do you think Puka Nacua is so good and effective in space? Because Stafford spreads the ball around. Hurts goes to 2 people, Devontae and AJ, Devontae and AJ, Devontae and AJ. Stafford knows how to move people around, knows how to throw in space. He's an anticipation thrower. All of that helps the wide out and his job make it easier. Hurts makes the receiving job. That's why I heard John McMullen, he's been saying it and continue to says it. I want to see if Jalen Hurts, you know what? I'm going to bring this up with Zander tomorrow. Remind me, Zander. John McMullen says he has no concerns about Devontae Smith being a number 1. My concern is Jalen Hurts going to make Devontae Smith's job harder or easier without AJ? Is he going to make his job easier or harder? That's the look. Is Sean Mannion going to make it look easier and help Devontae? See, I don't believe he's going to, because I don't think he has another guy in that room that's going to take the pressure off Devontae. I think Devontae's a spectacular player. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think you have another spectacular player in the building yet. Lemon may develop into it. I don't know. He might. And he might be good. He might be great. He might be a great. How much do you think Devontae Smith benefited? When Devontae was in his rookie year, people are always going like this. Well, he broke the rookie record. That's not saying a lot in Philly. He had 900 yards. So, 900 yards in today's NFL is like 45 yards a game. It's not a big deal, especially for the 10th pick in the draft. Hopefully for Philly, Mannion moves Smith around. That is probably also going to be something to keep an eye on, and I will agree to that. I think that one of the things that they did a disservice because AJ's not and wasn't able to be moved around, I happen to agree with you that that's probably going to be able to move him around, but is Hurts going to be able to find him? Seals, what Stafford is currently doing in LA is what he's supposed to be doing in Detroit, but they never gave him any offensive weapons outside of Megatron. He's living his best life, and he's got a great play caller. I will say this, and I will agree with John McMullen on this. 2 minutes into the half, 2 minutes at the end of games, Sean nuts up a bit. It's got to be better, dude. He's a really good play caller, and the Rams do so many things right with Les Snead. Drafting has been great. Now they've added Myles Garrett. They've done so many. Hey, I'll tell you what. I don't really think the Browns got a shitty end of that deal. I think that deal is a good deal. I do. Seals, don't you think that Smitty being small makes more effort for him to catch balls, also makes certain balls almost impossible? He's so electric on the sidelines. He really is. I'd like to see him more in space. Throw a hitch pass to him. Put him in the slot more. Get the ball in his hands. At Alabama, him in space against guys like Patrick Surtain and all this shit, and when they were practicing, or Derek Stingley when he was at LSU, he played against all these guys. Get that dude in space, dude. That's what makes that guy electric. Oh, okay. Hey, our great friends at Morgan & Morgan, the #1 injury law firm in all of America for a reason. Folks, I tell you this all the time. There is no law firm like Morgan & Morgan. Over $20 billion recovered. Family in Pennsylvania that initially offered $650K, they got nearly $30 million in settlement. Or the family in Florida that was initially offered $350,000, they ended up getting nearly $12 million in settlement. Go to forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. And do me a favor, you tell them Big Sales sent you. Yeah!
There's a reason the Karate Master was the #1 salesman in the lumber department.
Karate.
Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. Injured? With over $25 billion recovered for our clients, there's a reason to go big. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the jet setters and the high rollers, to the shot takers and the tastemakers. Welcome to the viewfinders, the thrill seekers, and the night owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on sports grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on sports grid.
EAGLEX. Eagles.
21 days. He'll start a training camp. My God. Awesome, guys. Appreciate all of you. Again, hopefully you had a great 4th of July weekend. Great to have Big Z back. We will see you tomorrow going 2 to 6. Hit the like button on the way out. And we'll see you on the flip side.
There's a reason Detective Johnson is the gossip king.
Oh, did you hear?